5.
Hello. We're back for an afternoon stream. I don't think we've actually ever done that on this channel ever. So this is the first time ever. And we did it all because of Joe's stupid schedule, and then it changed anyway. I'm just kidding. We're all happy here.
It did change mere moments ago.
Yeah.
Could have done an evening stream just fine.
Yeah,
turns out
fine. It's all
real
good.
life with adults with schedules is complicated.
Sure is. But we are going to be continuing this sort of side quest in a way, where we are exploring Garai's need for vengeance, and his two companions are joining him. But I'm going to introduce them as we've only had one episode with these characters. So I will start with that creepy background man. Nenners, please introduce yourself and your character.
I'm Nenners the Sore-Throated. I shall be playing Waki today. He is a very cranky, somewhat crotchety, and very racist Yuan-Ti. Should be fun. But yeah, he's kind of like an old coworker, war buddy, battle buddy of Garai, and he's got a bit of guilt due to the fact that he missed a few key things in his life. So he's here to right some wrongs with the best method available, violence. Joe, if you don't mind, I'll swing it over to you. I totally forgot. I'm used to DMing, so yeah. Joe, please continue, sir.
Definitely don't play once a week minimum to be used to playing. Yeah, first off, I'm offended that you would relegate my need for vengeance as a side quest of sorts.
That's true.
It is a imperative. There are zero other things in existence. There is this, and there is nothing else.
For Garai, he's not part of the main cast, unfortunately, so therefore it turns into a side quest. But
there are no casts. There are only people. We're all the hero of our own story. And as far as Garai's concerned, the prevention is some people who woke him up from death to realize what a failure he is, and all he has left is getting this shit done while they fuck off and do less important things.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how critical they are to other people in other situations. Anyway, I'm Joe. I'm inhabiting violence because that is all that Garai has left. Violence and hate, but I'm Joe, and I play on Foozca's channels a lot because they're great, and they let me keep showing up and play D&D. But when I'm not here, I'm on Dispel Logic on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I've been able to say it a lot and dwell on it a lot because I keep having to tell you where to find me because I've been on Foozca's channel so much. But we released an Ancient Evil, and it's bad. So tomorrow we deal with that.
I'm excited for that.
In the meantime, I'm playing Garai, and he's a fighter mostly, rogue a little bit. Sometimes fighter, sometimes rogue, all times violence. And then I'm done. So Vogley, say things.
Okay. It's my turn to say things. Hey everybody, I'm Vogley or Vogelstato. Today I am playing Inza Doradas, otherwise known as Inga or Izunagi, and sometimes called DoorDash. I appreciate. I'm very glad to be here. But she, Ingza does not do anything involving bringing food or anything like that. She is very much about the murder, but she's very bright and cheery about it. So, as opposed to these other two guys who dwell in the realm of sad. So she is happy to be here, just like me. And I am just on Foozca's channel. I don't have any of the other Twitters or any other channels and whatnot. So follow Dispel Logic, and I also see Insomnia Knight on here. He's got a cool channel and does stuff with things. So follow him too. And gonna turn it over to Foos. Yeah. I am also one other note. I'm there with you, Nenners, in addition to being sore-throated and just itchy and hot-throated because the plants suck. All right. Yes, Foos, go ahead.
The plants are outside like, fuck you, Vogley!
They've been trying to kill me all my life, but they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have two people sort of on the mend in terms of the vocal cords. So if there are times where we need breaks, just like a quick whatever, just to go get a drink or something, then that might happen because we want to make sure everyone's okay. But that being said, we're going to hop back into this adventure with a little bit of a recap, which essentially starts with Garai kind of, you already summarized this a little bit, but sort of being resurrected and realizing that all he wants to do is get some violence done because that's kind of all he has at the moment. After losing his daughter and not having any, real like focus or anything in this city, and after being murdered, this is his only goal. So his friend from another time, being Waki, came to help him out with that, and they picked up Ingza along the way. So the three of them sort of concocted a plan, got some intel and some supplies, and then essentially started trying to find a way to break into the building where this musician assassin who assassinated Garai is likely headed, or hanging out in, I guess. So they're going to try and break in and kill this guy. We're going to be picking up with them, having incredible rolls pretty much all night long, really. Everybody was doing amazing. You managed to stealth your way to the building, climb it, and then get to the rooftop, notice the traps, get rid of most of the traps, at least the ones that were kind of in your way, and you are currently on the rooftop, sort of overlooking the balcony, which faces the infinite, that wonderful oasis that never dries up. So as you guys are here, if I remember correctly, it was Blind Sight that let Garai kind of tell what was down there. And Waki could see with his ability to see through illusions that there seemed to be 3 people down there. And Ingza managed to just barely scale the other side of the building in time to not possibly get caught by by Kanja, the guard captain, who seemed to have been investigating the area with an incredible athletics check out of nowhere. So we are going to be picking up with you guys on the rooftop. There were mentions of murder immediately. If I remember
I was going to
correctly.
say, you said in chat here for the violence. We start with violence.
We're going to start with
we
violence.
ended
lady.
moments before violence.
And also, just to hop off of that, I know Ingza was doing like an athletics check to like scale the building, and I imagined her all this past week like hanging off the bottom of the balcony and like looking over up at the roof to be like, doing head stuff like, are we doing this while she's hanging on? So that's how I imagined it throughout this whole week. I don't know if we can make that happen, Foos, with what we rolled last time, but it'd be kind of fun.
I would just say, unfortunately, just because of where you are on the roof, you're like opposite of them. So like they're very much looking down at the balcony, and you're on the other end of the building. So I think your head gestures would go unnoticed, unfortunately.
Got it.
But thankfully, I did hodgepodge a map together so that we can all have an idea of where we are. It's a little jank, but this is what we're going to be working with. So I will drag you guys down. And we're gonna swap on over.
Ooh.
And we'll get started.
You call this jank? This is awesome.
It's jank for a foos. It's a little jank. But yeah.
So it's a wraparound balcony?
It's not supposed to be, but this was the closest thing I could get to it. So I was like, it will be wraparound for the purposes of this fight. But let me go and move on over. All right. So you guys are here. Those are the guys you were able to kind of roughly recognize. Each of them seem to have a bow or crossbow, as well as a sword or a melee weapon of some kind. I believe because of I don't think I had you guys roll stealth again once you were up there. So since we're back and we're kind of starting at, obviously, this isn't going to take place immediately. This is just for the time that you guys are on the roof. Can I get a stealth check from everybody? Oh, that was whispered, but that's okay. That's a 23. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Sorry, just double
reliable talent.
I forgot to bring up my list of Garai cheats about what all these rooms do, because I can't remember what things I have advantage on and what I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
I made a cheat sheet too.
Yeah. Okay. Starting off strong, boys.
Yep.
All right. So you guys are up on this rooftop.
Actually, I think I have an option for this. Give me just a moment.
Okay.
Sure.
I thought sorcerers had something where they do magical guidance, I think, right? Yeah. I'm not wrong. Okay, so I will burn a sorcery point to reroll that.
Ooh,
Assuming a 10 fails.
very good.
Motherfuck the police, really? Come on!
This is gonna be a time where I mentioned to chat that if you have points and you want to buy a player inspiration or the GM inspiration, you can do that. I will also mention I am going to give you guys a group inspiration, so at any point in time you guys can decide to throw a d20 at something. Now that we've started with not great rolls, but as you guys are here, they don't necessarily seem to react to you yet, but you likely have a few moments to kind of figure out what you're doing, or maybe speak to each other or something like that.
We're just gonna go in. So I mean, he just looks at Garai, gives him the old nod, and he's gonna cast darkness, using his lovely sorceress ability to do so, because he's a sorcerer of shadow. So it will only cost me. Hold on, where the hell is it? Nope.
I ate it. It's in my belly.
That's it. Yeah, Eyes of the Dark. So burn another 2 sorcery points. Goodbye, Metamagic Adepts points. And he will basically cast that right down.
Can you post the spell as well, if you don't mind? Or it's just the darkness spell, but if you don't mind casting it. Because if there is verbal, there is. I will say we'll probably have to roll initiative because your stealth wasn't good enough to get that off without them like hearing you. So it's going to be a matter of like who's reacting when. So with that, I believe we get to roll our initiative. So go ahead and select your token and go ahead and roll initiative for me, please.
Click the tokens.
Click the
tokens.
Okay, so this is why I have cheat sheet. I have advantage on initiative.
Oh my god.
It didn't roll with advantage despite me clicking.
That's an 8, a 9, and a 4 for Nenders off the bat. Let's go, bitches.
Oh yeah, don't I have...
Nice.
Hold on. I don't have advantage on initiative, do I? Hold on.
If you do, it should have been auto-programmed into it.
Okay.
But yeah, just double check just in case. I need to add roll.
My boots give me the advantage on Dex stealth checks that need sound. So does that count?
No. If it doesn't say specifically initiative, then it does not count for initiative. Okay. All right. I mass rolled their initiative. Hooray! Garai is out the fucking gate rolling bonkers. We're good. Okay. So with that, I believe is that Wonky at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. All right. So I believe we get started with Garai. You kind of get the jump as you see your friend starting to cast. All of the heads on the roof kind of turn up and in your direction. And okay, what languages does everyone speak? Actually, can I get a quick check?
All of them, probably.
If anyone understands what they're going to be saying.
Why are my languages here?
Okay.
Well, these have been listed individually. Common, Giant, Orc, and Thieves' Cant.
Okay.
Sylvan, Elvish, Deep Speech, and Common.
Okay. No, nobody understands this, but you guys hear sort of a very like harsh sounding language coming out of their mouths as they turn to look at you. But Garai, go ahead with your turn.
Cool. So I'm gonna go here, and then here, and then here. All right. So I got the move for that. And then I'm a bonus action shield master, shove this dick off the roof.
Oh.
Yep. All right, so that guy needs to.
No, that would also be a bonus action, so I'm not doing that. So yeah, we're just gonna shove. Okay. And do I have advantage on that for any reason with all my nonsense? No. So just a crazy high number is all.
Yeah, that's a 22 athletics. This guy needs a natural 20 to pass you. This is... I'm going to say, as you run up to this one, you see that they all have, like, crossbows or bows and, like, some kind of melee weapon on them. When you walk up to this one, you can see that this one seems to have, like, a rapier, seems to not really have a lot of armor on, is a little more it seems to be almost casty relevant. Therefore, strength is garbage. So here comes my strength roll. Actually, let me just double check one more thing. Okay, good. All right, here comes my strength roll, which he needs a natural 20 to pass. He does not.
I like the kind of mashup that says I rolled an
Uh-huh.
8 and he needed a nat 20 anyway.
Yeah,
That's the kind of
the-
outmatched I like to be. This is good.
That's what it is. So you
right.
run
Bye.
up. How does the shove go? Are you hands? You go for the shoulder tackle? Like how
Basically shoulder, but it's shield forward. And just bash, push him off, and then I'm turning. I'm done with him. I got other shit to do.
you start Waki starts casting. He just leaps off the roof and sends this man sailing over the edge of this rooftop. All you see are kind of like limbs, and you heard the beginning of his scream, but it seems as though once he passed the threshold of the balcony, it just cut out into silence. But he seems to have been knocked right off.
All right, well, Captain of the Guard down there is going to have some surprises to deal with, but this is my business now. I'm going to
This
step
is
5 feet
raining
over
bodies.
here.
Mm-hmm.
It's raining man.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Raining man.
Oh, God.
Remind me, am I the right kind of swashbuckler?
Swashbuckler?
I'm just double checking that's what it is.
You get. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes, I don't need people nearby for a sneak attack. That was
Exactly.
that was my jam. Okay.
Oh, we have 2. I just realized. Yeah. Ah, jeez. All right, let's go. 'Cause I saw her nodding, and I was like, "Oh, she knows." Oh, of course.
One of the few things I do know.
So we're gonna swing that once, and then as a fighter, we're gonna swing that twice.
Both hit. 19 is exactly what you needed.
So that's 19, and then we turn off sneak attack, and we hit the other one. 26 altogether.
All right, very nice. He is going to use his uncanny dodge to have that first one.
Oh, he would.
So he'll take 9 damage from the first and 7
He
from the
would do that.
second. He would. He's
I
gonna.
bet he feels like that matters. I bet he feels like living for 6 more seconds is gonna be worth it. All right, I'm good.
He believes it in his heart. All right, so you come down and slash at this guy who seemed a little more nimble than you were expecting, and kind of manages to mitigate a little bit of that damage.
Oh, I do also
but I
reduce
believe-
his speed by 10 feet because I cut him with a weapon. Because slasher.
That is good to know. Thank you very much. I'm going to put a symbol on him that's purple, so I remember that. Anyway, so as your action, bonus action, and movement, I believe you're done.
Yes.
Okay. So we get to the guy who just got chucked off. I'm just gonna see if he can do anything about that.
You fall.
Yeah, he's gonna fall, so he has to take damage first. Actually, well, actually, no, he would 100% take damage before he. So you guys, I'm just doing the math in my head real quick. All right, didn't roll great on that, but he takes 8 damage. And then right afterwards, actually, it would probably go to Waki, about 4 or 5 spaces next to you, being that it's probably like feet at this point, so it's likely like 20 feet or so. You watch as a tear kind of opens up and he steps through a dimension door a little bit of the ways across from you.
And it triggers a trap.
And does not seem to trigger a trap. But he says something again in that language that nobody understands. But he seems to be pointing at Garai as he says that. That's the end of his turn because that's all he could do. The guy that you just attacked, he is going to try and sneak or attack you. Sneak attack. I'm reading sneak attack. He's going to try to attack you with his short sword. Give me 1 second. I'm just making sure everything looks right. Yeah, it's okay. Not disadvantage. Why do I have disadvantage clicked? All right, short sword. 1, 2. Jesus Christ.
Those are both hit.
Yep. I need Constitution saving throws for both. For the I didn't roll it out. Okay. So for the first one, it's actually going to be. And the second one is 2D.
That's just rude. Is this
It is.
poison? It feels like
It's poison.
poison.
It is poison.
Okay. No, riddle me this. I have advantage on saves against the poison condition.
Okay.
I don't know if
not
this is just pure damage.
It's just poison damage, exactly.
All right. Cool. Then I need 1 or 2 con saves.
2, please, for each hit. Second one fails, our first one fails, unfortunately. Second one passes. And first one was the nat 20, so you do take the 16. The second one, you don't take any damage. So if you pass, you don't take any of this poison damage at all. But the first pulse hits you after the shock of you landing next to him hits. And he just kind of essentially shakes you with the short sword at close range with his bow in his other hand. And then he's going to use his bonus action to disengage and try and get away from you. How much is his movement? Not a ton. He's going to back up over there. And that's the end of his turn, which brings us to Ingza. I have you in the bottom corner of the roof, so I'll say that in that time you were able to pull yourself up and such. Because the roof is also much longer than this, so I didn't want you to have to like run your ass all the way over.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, so you're starting here on your turn.
Okay, just making sure this guy is here, right?
Yes.
I missed what you were saying about him.
He
Okay.
just stepped up there with a misty step. So you're good.
Okay, got it. All right, so she's gonna.
Also, what's
what?
your investigation bonus? Sorry, I'm just trying to see what your passive investigation is in case you
Passive investigation. How do I?
Well, it wouldn't say passive. Just tell me what your bonus is, and then you add 10 to that. Essentially, it's kind of like your passive perception.
Okay, I see passive wisdom right now, which is 16.
What is your bonus to investigation? When you go to investigation, what's the number that's right next to it?
11.
11. Jesus Christ. Okay. Good. All right. So as you hop onto this roof, and the other thing that you thankfully know to avoid, there seem to be kind of like almost bear trap-esque traps along this roof. And thankfully, your passive investigation is so high that you would be able to notice. So I'm just going to put some on the map so you can see where they are.
Thank you.
So in moving forward, you know where not to stand, essentially. But you can go ahead with your turn. I just wanted you to know that your character knows to move around these traps, so we don't have to factor that in at the moment.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so she's gonna... Oh. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so she's gonna run up to him and stab. So run up here. And then she's gonna use her vicious dart. I see 2 on here, Foos, for the.
Your darts are ranged weapons, so those are the things you can throw.
That was my next question. Okay, thank you. All right, so she's gonna hit him. Let's see. Let me just make sure that I'm not doing something.
If you have a way to push him 25 feet so he goes back off the roof, that'd be hilarious. I'm just saying.
She's gonna keep throwing this man off the roof.
I'm kind of tempted. So I'm gonna hit him once for now with my flame tongue, and I also get sneak attack because swashbuckler, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep, correct.
Okay, so flame tongue. Oh shit! I forgot. With sneak. Fuck.
Oh, no, it's okay. Wait, why is that
66?
so low? Hold on. Your bonus is super low for that, and that seems wildly wrong.
It's using strength instead of dex, it looks like.
It is. That's correct. It is also... Hold on, Vogly, I'm not done yet.
Oh, wow.
1 second. You're okay. Don't worry.
I just saw the thing change, and I was like, how would I press? But I think you're
What's happening?
it.
Yeah, okay. So you should have a plus 10 to the bonus. So you should add 7 to that.
Okay.
So that turns it into a 15, which
And
this
then-
man has exactly. So you hit with your flame tongue.
Awesome. And then, sorry, how do I roll sneak attack damage? 16.
It should be as one of your damage things on your. If you scroll down a little bit, hold on, let me just.
Yeah,
check.
global damage modifier.
It's already checked. So if you hit your flame tongue, when you click that, it should like your damage on the chat bar. When you click that, it should automatically do the sneak attack damage for you. Oh no, on the chat on the right side where all of where the 8 came up, right underneath the 8 where it says Flame Tongue, just hover over that name and then click that. There you go. So yeah, that's your sneak attack damage. So so long as you click it, check it on before you click the damage, then you're okay. So that's why you can roll without it by accident and then click it on after.
Got it.
Anyway, okay. So all that out of the way. No worries. You're learning.
So
that's still doing strength on damage as well, so it's more damage than that.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it, Joe.
I believe.
Also, it's nice to see what a pure rogue can do because my 2d6 sneak attack ain't great, but 66. Yeah, that's some work.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, this man has already been thrown to the roof. He teleports back to the rooftop, and then Ingza comes out and just shanks him with her rapier. Just double check your weapon. I think you might need to activate it before you get the fire damage. Because I think you have to bonus action light it up, if I remember correctly.
Yes, no, that you're right. I haven't done that yet, and I kind of did it purposefully. So
that is totally fine. I'm just making sure because that means that your 4 would get a plus. Oh, it's a -1 right now. So you rolled a 5 on the damage plus your dex, which is another 5. So that's 10 plus the sneak attack is 28 damage altogether.
Okay. Awesome.
We did it.
We did it. My next question, Foos, I would like to use panache. But it says action. So I know I get 2 attacks, but how would you like to rule on that?
It would, if it says action, it would be your whole action.
The whole thing. Okay, never mind. All right. So that's why I sort of did it like that first because I'm learning. So okay, then I will do another flame tongue. I don't get sneak attack this time.
I believe you only get 1 attack.
If you're pure rogue, then you only get the 1.
I only get 1. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no extra attack.
No, you're used to playing a Battlemaster where you get 8 attacks.
Exactly. She's used to Battlemaster, and then with that weapon she has, if she gets a nat 20, she gets another attack, and then she gets the butt. So she's doing 6 attacks around. Yeah, this is rogue is very one hit, do many damage. Rogues are awesome though, and also hi Evie.
Hi. Okay, and then one more. I just want to make sure I do the right thing. So I get 1 attack. Okay, and then I just want to do my bonus action, which is cunning action, and then just disengage and move.
Sure.
I moved 25 feet, so I have another 15 feet-ish, I think, because I have a total of 40 feet.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll move there away from the traps. Fuck.
I don't know if you have another thing to do with your bonus action, but as a swashbuckler, anybody you stab, you get to disengage for free.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
As swashbucklers, if you attack somebody, they don't get the opportunity to attack you.
Yeah, but you do need to land it if I remember correctly. So if you try to attack and you don't hit, I think you can't. But you could double check that for me if you don't mind.
Yeah,
but yeah, you can just pop out.
Melee attack.
Fancy footwork?
Yeah, fancy footwork. As long as you swing on somebody, you've bamboozled them and they can't.
You bamboozled them.
Okay, so I don't use my bonus action for that. Then I just
might not have another thing to do with it. I was just letting you know you still have it.
I appreciate that because I'm still figuring this shit out. I think that's all I can do. Yeah, I think that's all I can do now. No, I'm okay. All right, good. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's my turn.
You're good. This is your first turn as a rogue who's level 11 or something. It's okay. There's going to be a little bit of adjustments. You're good.
Thank you, Joe.
So
thank you, Foos.
No doubt. We're here to help you out. It's his turn, and I don't have his character sheet up because I forgot to open it.
Well, you just don't get to take a turn. Then sounds like.
Listen.
Those are the rules.
Listen. Okay. All right. So with that, he is going to make his light crossbow attacks on the caster up there on the roof because you have not gone yet. So gets 2 shots.
Wow.
Misses wildly.
You used all the good mojo hitting me.
I think so, right? Anything Joaquin is doing to kind of get out of the way of this? He's Shots
He would just kind of
coming
look at the misplaced arrows with disdain. Is this a elf that's doing it?
This particular one seems to be. Oh, actually, no. This one does not. The other two do seem to have elven blood in them, but this one seems more tiefling, if you had to guess. But they're
Okay.
very covered. It's a little bit hard to see, but you can see ears.
All right, so just kind of like you're gonna have to try a little bit better.
You hear more like guttural language as it sort of like tries to duck around the other side of the roof. With nobody in sight, he's going to try and go over here and bonus action hide. Where is his stealth roll? There it is. I'm going to whisper this and let anyone know if they have high enough perception. Okay, so that's the end of that guy's turn, which brings us to the guy who was attempting to do something in the beginning, but unfortunately rolled garbage.
Yeah, that's more or less my fate. He will cancel the darkness spell and then burn just one more point. Keep the 3 total sorcery points, and summon his Ophidian Omen as this kind of umbral. What's it called? Cobra springs forth, and let me just see if I can choose where it goes.
I realized I had him on the map already, but you hadn't summoned him, so yeah, he pops out.
Yeah, woo, he's here. As a
Hello,
bonus
Sneaky
action,
Poo.
to target, you can see within 120 feet of you. Perfect. So I'm going to place him right here next to this guy. I will link
Yeah, Jesus.
that. Yep, have fun reading that. And he is then immediately just going to begin to Eldritch Blast this bastard because
Yeah.
Great.
he can, and he wants to get him off this roof. So unfortunately, I did not take Repelling Blast, but that was my bonus action. Let me just hold on. Let me reduce these points because I almost forgot. There we go. So Eldritch Blast time. I do get advantage because he's right there. Eldritch Blast. There it
Oh,
is.
because your friend. Yes, correct.
Yep.
Kick his ass, Nennis.
Yep.
That's apparently what they're saying. Yep, that hits. Yep,
Ooh,
that hits.
nanners, yes.
I get 3 at this level. Let me just double check.
Yeah, because you're split, so I can't remember.
Team is 11.
Should be 3.
Should be 3. Yeah. Okay. Because it goes by total level. It's so weird. The way they do
Oh,
multiclassing.
yeah.
Very strange.
I mean, not anymore, but that's a point of contention
I
among the Warlock
know.
players.
I saw
Oh no!
that.
Did they
They
screw
made
it?
it Warlock level dependent.
Warlock, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
makes
Yeah, that
sense,
is
but,
nasty.
it's
gonna be
definitely
rough.
technically like a
That's-
power decrease.
Oh,
That's how we do.
go ahead and roll your damage. So this guy's not gonna
This
get
is
a
how we
turn.
do
No,
it.
it's not.
Okay,
He
so
should be +5 because he has. Hold on, agonizing
Agonizing
blast.
Blast.
Agonizing blast. Okay, so that would turn into 9.
Yep. Plus cha. There we go. Let me see if that works.
Let's
now.
cha. Cha.
Okay. Does that work now? It does. Great.
That sounded a lot like a Missy Elliott lyric, and that next line is not clean, and I almost said it out loud.
I'm here for you.
That 20. Oh my god. All right. So
Yay.
this guy pops back to the roof, gets stabbed, a snake slithers up next to him, and then he gets blasted 3 times in the face. Nettis, would you like to describe how you murder this man?
When he casts Eldritch Blast, he's kind of like whipping it at it, and as he does, it's like another cobra, like a spectral cobra, just coming out and spitting these kind of blasts at him. And is this guy Sylvan?
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, go ahead and give me a history or insight if you want to get a little more information from this.
I'm gonna make an argument for advantage. Due to his
I'm
background.
keeping the DC pretty low.
All right. Okay.
Is insight your highest one? I mean, you're fine. That absolutely passes, but it cracks me up that it's like this is all I got +2. No, but when you as you're nailing this guy with your Eldritch Blast, as he's kind of like turning to you, you can kind of vaguely see sort of what looks like autumn leaves and foliage kind of like under the backside of his neck and kind of like up the sides of his face. Certainly Sylvan, likely an Eladrin of some kind that you find yourself murdering on this rooftop. But
he's just going for the head, lethal, like kind of trying to snap his neck with the force of the blows. And as he falls, he's gonna look over to his friend and be like, or not his friend, clearly. His ears are mine.
He's
this
gonna be
body
like-
in a like grotesque way like falls onto the neck of it and just kind of tumbles off the other side of the roof, and you guys hear the like heavy thump of the body hitting the ground on the opposite side of this here rooftop or balcony, excuse me. All right. Also, this guy you shouldn't be able to see. I forgot to do that. Okay. So that was your action. I believe you have movement and bonus action.
Bonus action was my snake friend. He is going to move
yeah.
all the way up here
Mhm.
and just try to peer over the edge, see what he's not going to stay at the edge because clearly he's that moron. But
Mhm.
he's at least going to be like, what the hell's around there? And then just kind of stay still.
Go ahead and give me a perception check real quick.
Oh,
I know you're good at those.
I'm terrible at that. One day I'll have a character that isn't sucky at perception, but today
Looks good. It's a little dark on the side, but looks good.
All right, excellent. I do have really good dark vision though.
Yep.
You
That's
do.
correct,
That's true.
120
But
feet.
yeah, unfortunately. Anyway, Garai, you are up.
Rye is up. Well, I don't really think I have a good bonus action shove anybody off a roof due to positioning. And I was thinking maybe I don't want to use this other thing. But turns out I can do it 5 times a day? Because
All right,
awesome.
I'm just going to check in with you really quick. I'm sorry. What is your passive perception for Garai?
Passive perception is 17. I do have blind sight up to 10 feet.
Okay. Good. You can hear the footsteps of someone coming from that direction, but you do not see them yet. Did I just ruin your whole plan? I'm sorry.
You're just making me consider some things because, you know, those guys are going to die whether I go over there or not. But this is a potential somebody who ain't been coming up yet. So we'll just go the other way with it. But first, I'm going to giant smite because I can do it 5 times a damn day. So why wouldn't I? Boom. If you could make my token large, please.
Big
Thank you.
Garai.
Big Garai energy. Here we go.
I was going to be all about pushing people off roofs, but they're unhelpfully not near the edges of roofs. And I can only push them 5 feet. I mean, I guess I could spend multiple things
Can
pushing.
you toss them?
Yeah, that is part of why I'm getting big. I have advantage on athletics checks now.
Okay.
But then we're going to go 5 and then 10 and then see what I see over here.
You see what seems to be sort of a beefier looking actually I don't know if you could tell the difference. I don't know. A man with sort of semi-pointed ears kind of popping his head out from that side. He does look like he's wielding a very large greatsword as he comes around the corner. It seems to be kind of like curious, but as you turn the corner and he makes eyes with you, you see like, hey!
Yeah. Beefy's a relative term.
Yeah, beefy in comparison to you.
Boom! I can get up to his.
Dry.
I can get up to his scrawny ass. All right.
For sure.
Suplex time.
Yeah, we gon' stab him. We gonna stab him good. I'm just looking for anything that gives me any extra sauce. Nope, but I don't need it. A 1 and a 2.
All right. Actually, they both hit. 19 is exactly what you needed to get. Oh, man.
So that's 19, and then I got to turn off the extra sauce for the second attack. 7 more.
Okay. So 26 altogether? Yes. Right. You come up and his surprise, you just close the distance as Big Garai and slash into this man. He looks okay, but he looks like he's about to square off with you as he pulls off his greatsword.
His choice. His speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Great. All right. Is that all for your turn?
Well, the other guy whose speed was reduced is no longer reduced, and I have used my bonus action. So yes, that is me.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Okay. Oh shoot, I forgot. I apologize. Oh no, that's when he. Never mind. We're good. He's going to use his bonus action to second wind, so he's going to heal a little bit of that damage you just did.
Nerd.
He's pulling it out. It's just like, you don't belong on this roof. He's going to swing at you with his greatsword a total of 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Oh,
Get
look
that
at
nerd.
those. Terrible. Oh, wait, hold on. His bonus is wrong. His
Worse,
bonus
obviously.
should be. It should be an extra. It's only adding. What is it? Adding 4. It should be an extra 3. Not that changes much. Yeah, it adds 3 to all of those rolls, which I don't think changes
Well,
much, right? Because
I mean, it
the
changes
18
no
is-
hits into 1 hit.
Oh, okay. The 18 didn't hit before? Okay, well now the 18
No.
hits. So you will take 9 slashing damage, and then I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw. As he hits you, you feel an intimidating presence eking out of him, and we will see if that takes hold.
Do wisdom save.
No, it does not. I mean, it does take hold. You did not pass. That's the words. How do I fucking... Okay,
Words is hard.
so... What'd you say?
Words is hard.
Words is hard. It is. All right. The target must see a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or be frightened of the Enforcer until the end of the target's next turn. The Enforcer and its allies have advantage on attack rolls against the creature that is frightened in this way. Creature, yeah. If you pass, then you're immune for 24 hours. But currently, you are afraid of this Enforcer, unfortunately. But he's going to stay there. That's the end of his turn. I didn't move this forward at all. So he's going to stay there and just kind of watch as the fear settles in you and just told you shouldn't be here. But that's the end of his turn, which brings me to another one of my guys. Just going to put a fear token on you or something so I remember. And it's the guy who had his movement reduced. Just kind of chilling right now. He is... I think he's going to back up a little bit. He's going to backtrack, and then he's going to see if he has a shot on Waki, which I believe he does. So he's going to take 2 hand crossbow shots at you. Is it 2? It's 2. It's 2 hand crossbow shots. I cannot roll very well today. Oh my god. Nenners, is a 15 or 18 hit?
No, neither hit.
Jesus. Okay. Cool. So 2 more
You shooting at me?
bolts
That little
go
bitch over there?
flying past you. Yeah.
Alright.
I think he's gonna stay there. He's gonna stay there. They're still shouting in a language that nobody seems to understand. Ingza, you are up.
Okay, she's going to move to the edge here. Hold on, let me just make sure. Okay, wait. Just wondering. I didn't see. Wait, let me read one thing. So, where are my weapons? Here we go. So for the vicious dart, how far am I allowed to throw it? I'm not. It didn't.
It's okay. It should have the distance on it, but we can double check, make sure we're not crazy. Did I close your character sheet? I might have. I don't want to say if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not wildly far. It's 20 feet regular, and then 60 feet with disadvantage. So if it's anything past 20 feet, you can still make the attack roll. It's just a disadvantage. So
Got
up
it.
to 20 feet regular roll.
Okay. So Ingza is just gonna move there.
Mhm.
And then she's gonna throw the dart at Mr. Not Nice Man. I did the wrong thing. All right. And I click sneak attack. I think I did that correctly. Does that hit? Probably not.
I don't think so. I'm gonna double check. I have so many of these guys open, and they have very similar character sheets, but no, unfortunately, his AC is 19.
19. Okay, so she saw that didn't work. Let's see.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Can't do anything because rogue. I have a couple of bonus actions, but they kind of don't apply. I don't think they can really do anything at that point. So she's just gonna. So she's just gonna move back, and move back this way and try and listen for what Garai is up to because she wants to keep an eye on both of them. Did I do the right one? Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead and give me another perception check.
Okay.
Oh, I have the fucking tracker right on top of you guys. Hold on, let me move that.
19.
Okay, good. You can hear a little bit of back and forth going on. There does seem to be, I mean, Garai is not a terribly talkative person. Uh, so there seems to be a lot of chatting happening on one end, and it's not Garai's end. Is essentially what you're kind of getting out of there. And you can absolutely see Garai's giant, like 10-foot tall, like head and maybe like a little bit of his shoulders from the angle of the roof that you see. But
So
she seems to be fighting someone down there.
Fighting somebody else. Okay, so she's not going to distract him then, but she's going to try and keep eyes on both of them just to make sure that, she can support as well as, just make sure they're not snuck up on. And she's going to use her cunning action to... I don't think she can, right? She can't hide up here. Right?
Not really. If you break line of sight with someone, then you can consider yourself being hidden, and that might, just because you're on the roof, it might mean that you're kind of like hunkering like lower to the ground. But yeah, there's nothing like like a box or something to kind of hide behind, unfortunately.
Okay, so can she just like kind of get lower down and so
go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Okay.
Go ahead and get low to the flow.
Get low. Nice. Yeah. All right. 31. It's gonna look very hilarious to Waki on the other side, because I feel like you're just gonna turn around and see this very pale woman just like spider stretched across the top of this roof. Mm-hmm. No one else can see her, but you can because you're on the roof with her. But I believe that's the end of your turn.
And she's gonna say to Waki, "Do you need the ears for a ritual or something? I can get you more ears."
Personal satisfaction.
Personal? Okay. I had somebody who made a necklace once. You want some help with that?
No, this is from my collection.
Oh, okay.
And with that, it's your turn.
All right, so he's gonna assume the weird elfling has that covered. Oh, Foos, I forgot to tell you. I think I need to roll initiative with my snake. I don't know if you want me to.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and do that now.
Sure.
He'll still go this round. Oh, actually, no, it's the end of this turn. He'll go next turn, I suppose. But for now, if you want him to do anything, we can do it right now, and that's fine. But for the next round, we'll have you two go on your initiative roll.
Just double check. Good Lord, there's so many words. I
new character. Who did?
Just like give me the information I need in the first like 3 sentences. Everything else is flavor. That's not.
In the meantime, I'm going to show off this wonderful mug that Bogley gave me.
I love how it sort of bounces off of her head.
Yeah, I like that it hit just forward.
Yeah, at the start of its turn, so it does have turns. Okay.
Things gonna take a minute, and we break out the toast can.
Toast can!
Toast can!
Toast!
Every now and then, Joe's camera might just be Cat Cam, and his name is Toast, and we love him.
Hello.
He's very round.
He refuses to come be on my camera with me for more than 4 seconds, but if I put a spy camera above his perch.
He's so round.
He really is. He's a loaf. He's a sourdough loaf.
Oh gosh! Look at that chunk. Look at him.
He's a big boy.
A boule boy.
So he's gonna move his snake over there. He's gonna have him try to bite him.
Okay.
He does not have an advantage, so just a.
Okay. Hit. No, his AC is 19.
Right, that's fine. He gives me advantage, which is probably more important. How healthy is this guy?
He looks okay. Not terribly hurt. You did see him dodge a little bit of Garai's attack, so even when he did get hit, it didn't seem to be a flush hit. This squirrely little bastard looks pretty healthy right now.
Decided to really invest in this moment. Nah, he's just gonna blast him. All right. That's an awesome roll. Good job.
19 hits though. That's his AC.
Awesome.
Do you have? Oh, because he's there. Yes. Yep. All those hit.
Awesome. Here comes some great damage. That was 2. That's a lot better.
Mhm.
It's 5.
Right.
All right, so just again, just blasting him.
Ooh. Yeah,
Um,
he's gonna uncanny dodge the 15. So he'll take 14, 24 altogether. With those blasts, he does look like he is a little battered right now. You'll
Okay.
put the little red dot on him, so we know that he is looking hurt.
Excellent. All right, so that's. I think I still have a bonus action. With that bonus action, I'm going to sacrifice a level 2 and gain 2 sorcery points back.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
that is my-
Ending right there?
well, he's shooting me from there anyway, so yeah, fine, whatever.
It's all good.
Figure it out.
Bruce, can I ask you a question? Speaking of uncanny dodge. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. I just realized I forgot a turn, and I'm gonna take that turn now. But anyway, you go right ahead. What were you saying?
So as a swashbuckler rogue, I don't get uncanny dodge. I have another feature for that, right?
You should have uncanny dodge. That's an
You
all
should
rogue
absolutely
thing.
have-
Okay, so it's not on. It's not on my sheet, and I actually put
Mhm.
that to GM question for you, like earlier last week, and I just saw it now. I completely forgot. So, it's not.
I
on
didn't
my
even
thing.
see
So
it. Yeah, that's unusual. It should absolutely be there.
okay, I'll put it on. I figured out how to do that a little bit ago.
Yeah, you should absolutely have it. I'm not sure why that didn't show up. But good call. How goes the gaming today? It's good. We're having an afternoon session and it feels
Yeah.
weird. But it's also good.
I
'Cause I'm
kinda
usually doing I'm usually doing this when there's no sunlight outside. So I'm like, what is today? But we're having a good time either anyway. But the one who stealthed, I forgot the roll because I got it mixed up with the warlock you murdered 4 seconds into this fight. So he is going to take his light crossbow and attack with advantage on Waki from his stealthed position. Okay, I believe for the first time after 6 rolls I have hit you. He gets 2 attacks. So miss the second one. All right. So I will need. No, I don't, because I believe you're immune to poison damage. Is that correct?
No, I have very
Or
strong
resistant?
resistance to it.
Okay.
Look at-
Poison resist. You can avoid. You have resistance to poison damage. Yeah, you do have resistance.
I have
So go ahead and roll
resistance
me
to getting poison and
advantage.
poison damage.
Correct. So go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw, please. And he gets sneak attack, so he gets another 4d6 to that.
Okay.
Good roll.
Hi, Toast.
Toast. Sorry.
I moved the camera back and prepped for my turn, and then he started being mobile.
Of course. Okay, so you take half damage anyway. So you take 12 from the poison. So you take 9, and then the 12. And then you get the 8 from the sneak attack as well. So that's 29 damage altogether.
1 arrow? Jesus.
He's a
Alright.
sneaky
Alright.
shit. But you are going to see him pop out of stealth though, because he is now visible, and he's going to pop out down here. But that's where he was, where he shot you, and then I'm not sure why I made him visible, because he's going to use his bonus action to try and hide again. Where is it? There it is. I will also whisper this. Okay, he disappears again. And sorry, Garai, that we went out of turn a little bit, but I forgot to
It's
do his
fine.
turn. But
We
you are
got
up.
A few more seconds of toast.
Yeah, that's true. Toast.
But now I've returned. Now, I don't have to run away, but I can't move closer. That's fear, right?
His particular fear. Let me post that for you. Is frightened in this way? It might be like a unique kind of fear. You're frightened of the enforcer, so I guess you can't go towards it. And otherwise, yeah.
All right. And I believe frightened also gives me disadvantage to hit him.
I believe so. Oh, I have my conditions thing. I can just look it up there.
You just look right there.
I haven't needed it in a little while. Rules and references.
There you go.
Conditions. There we go. Frightened. You have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear remains within line of sight.
Cool. So bonus
Cannot
action,
really
I'm a
move it.
steady aim
Nice.
and
Yeah.
eliminate
Uh-huh.
that particular problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember if that's just the first attack.
I think. Oh, I don't know.
Next attack roll. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll have one at disadvantage and one regular. So there's
Regular.
that.
Regular.
Unfortunately, it does not hit.
All right, we'll watch the disadvantage somehow hit. Probably won't. Okay, well.
It hits. That one hits. Go ahead
Boom.
and roll your damage. Nice, good damage. Yeah, he takes all of that essentially. And if I remember correctly, this fear lasts until the end of this particular turn for you.
Yeah.
That's what I read. Yeah.
Okay, good. So that is the end of your turn because steady aim makes it so that that's literally all you do. Let me just double check. That blow nearly knocked him into bloody range, but you, with the first shot, that fear seemed to have taken hold a little bit stronger than you were anticipating. But the second blow, I feel like Garai just rages almost through it, and manages to land, and he looks particularly surprised. But you are no longer feared, and that's the end of your turn. Which brings us to the guy you actually attacked. So he's going to try and attack you as well. Again, excuse me. He has 2 attacks. He doesn't get advantage anymore because it's the end of your turn that he's
Correct.
that, right? So it's regular rolls.
1 hits.
Yep, 1 hits. You take 8 points of slashing damage, and he's gonna stay there. That's the end of his turn.
Well, then at the end of his turnabout is what I call fair play.
Oh,
Do I have? I don't have it in an easily shareable. So let me copy paste.
okay.
Is it stone rune? No, it's not stone rune.
The
It's,
secrets.
Oh, your runes. Yep.
runes, baby.
Runes.
Rune
Oh no, it
arrow.
is the stone rune. So my reaction, he gets to make me a wisdom save.
Okay. Yep, he's very good at those.
So good.
Roll that out for you.
We should be scared.
Well, that
And
was
my
actually pretty good for him.
is 16. So now his ass is charmed for a whole minute. And when he's charmed, his speed is 0 and he's incapacitated because he's been lulled into a dreamy stupor. Get betting her.
Love it. All right, so he lands, and then right after that, how do you activate this rune on him?
I'm trying to picture visually just where I've got it. What it is, it's inscribed onto my shield because they each have to be into a different thing. I think early on it said something about his belt, but it didn't work lore-wise. So basically what I do is just tap the scimitar just daintily almost, and it's just this beautiful little chime just rings out and lulls him into just zoning out as the rune flares into life in the corner of his shield.
I feel
Just
like you get to
glowing for
watch
the
him
next
like
minute.
grin and be excited to be in this fight with you, and just like just slowly like wavers in his spot as he is now just fucking charmed apparently for 1 minute. Okay, cool. So he's just there. That's the end of his turn. He got bamboozled. This cutthroat is he doesn't really like that snake being next to him. He'll make a short sword attack on your snaky buddy.
No.
He makes 2. Does a 10 or 15 hit?
A 10 misses, but a 15 does hit.
Okay. So he takes 5 piercing. This should also have poison damage, but it's not applying to this. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution save unless your guy is immune.
I don't. Okay. Sure. Yeah. It's like a construct. I don't. Okay. He's a monstrosity. All right. Not advantage. I have to turn that off. But yeah.
It's fine. 18 passes. So you don't take any damage. This poison is save or suck. So because you passed 0 damage from that, so he just takes
he
the
also
5
has
piercing.
4. He has 4 temp HP from my sorcerer level. So
Yes.
what?
3. Takes
Wait,
a whopping
I do
3
that?
damage. He's going to
7?
disengage. Yeah, he's going to disengage. No, not the 7. Ignore the 7. That was from poison damage, but you passed, so you take none. So it's the 5 piercing. But since you have 4, you take 1.
1. Yeah, you were saying 3. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
then
Yeah.
my brain. I apologize. He is going to disengage from you and then run off in this direction. Which I feel like you could probably kind of hear and see him a little bit, but that's the end of his turn, and now it's your snaky buddy's turn. You got hit for 1 damage.
All right, Snake has a movement speed of 50. Good
Jesus
lord.
Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, he's gonna stick by that little bitch. If you can, actually. Yeah, might as well. He's gonna go over here.
What's his passive perception?
His passive perception is 13, but he does get advantage if he can smell him or hear him.
I'll give you the smell. No, I'll give you the smell. Go ahead and give me a perception check on your snake to see if you can sniff out the other dude who's stealthing in that area.
All right, buddy. You got this. Advantage is on anyway, because I haven't freaking turned it on yet, but so here we go.
He smells with his tongue. Yeah, unfortunately. Carry on.
All right, he's going to bite the shit out of this guy. I'll try to. Stop advantaging, god damn it.
All right, hold on. I'll adjust it for you. 18. No, he has a 19 is his AC.
Oh, the ducks. All right. It's a good try, buddy. It's a good try. We'll get him to the next one.
Okay, you should be able to toggle things now. All right, that's his turn?
That is his turn.
Cool. Let's go to Ingza.
Okay, so I can't see this guy right now, right?
Which one? Oh, no, not from that.
Nope.
Definitely not from that angle, too, just because that's like a 90-degree angle and he's like really tucked under here.
Okay.
And just line of sight wise, the building's in your way.
Okay, so far it looks like Joaquin is doing great and he's happy doing it. So she's going to move over here and check on what's happening with Garai and obviously see this guy.
I would say with your passive perception, you would hear the guy he's fighting suddenly like lull out. Like he was like, ah, you just kind of hear like kind of like a mumbling daze. So because your passive perception is super high and
yeah,
they're not being terribly subtle. So you would hear that.
So if that's the case, she's gonna guess that Garai did something, because she's faced, so she's familiar with stuff like that. So if that's the case, she's gonna go over to where she saw the guy run. I guess this like ish way.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to go the 25 feet there and just look over the side. Wrong button.
Yeah, the second you get over to that corner, you can absolutely look down and see that guy just kind of hunkered like up against the wall. You also see a cobra on his other side attempting to snap at him.
Okay, and so she's just going to be like, hi! And she's going to throw a flame tongue dart at him and try and get him like somewhere on the shoulder / side of the neck, if possible. I think that may be disadvantage, right? Sorry.
Your darts are separate from your flame tongue. Your flame tongue is your rapier, and then your flame tongue or your darts are the vicious darts. So they wouldn't get.
I'm sorry. Did I say flame tongue? I meant to say vicious dart.
Okay, cool, good. I heard flame tongue dart, and I was like,
flame tongue dart. That's what we're doing here, folks. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw that one. Does it? Nope. An 11 doesn't hit. Fuck. All right. That's.
Are you in melee range? Because my dude has pack tactics. I don't know.
She is throwing though, and like the height of the roof would make it so that she would have to jump down if she was.
Yeah, I can't do that, and I'm completely fine. Oh, I should have asked you, Foos. Do I have a limit on these darts, or do they like come back to me?
You have a certain amount. But you get advantage because you were stealthing and you kind of like crawled over to that side. So roll one more time because they didn't know where you were.
Okay.
So hit me again with that vicious dart.
Holy shit! Wait, I get a thing.
There we go.
I get if a nat 20, I get an extra 7 damage at the weapons of the weapons type.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me some nonsense shit because you get sneak attack on top of your vicious dart, and then
you're about to do all the damage, all of it.
Yeah, yeah, correct. So go ahead and click that, and then make sure sneak. Jesus Christ!
I have never seen so many dice.
This is why you attack once per turn, because you get to do this.
Exactly. We don't even need to really add the 7 unless it did it automatically, which would be nice. But how would you like to describe your murder of this man? Because this dart comes out and he drops to the ground.
Well, so even though she was aiming at first, when she was trying to aim the first dart, it I guess kind of bounced off of his shoulder or something like that. And then she readjusts and then throws the other dart and it goes like right through the top of his head. And she wasn't expecting it to go that hard into it. She was like, "Oh goodness!" and then she just kind of looks around, and she will actually go to hop down so that she can start rifling through his pockets.
Go for it! You have to after just like lobotomizing this guy with your dart and just kind of looking through their shit. All right, I'm gonna say like that was your turn, but like you're essentially starting too, so you can find things on your next turn. The stealth guy, nobody noticed him, so he's going to pop out and make an attack on. He doesn't really have an angle. Ingza, I apologize. You're gonna have to get shot in the back.
That's the whole. I mean, that's part of what she does. So, yep. Okay.
No, you're good. But he's gonna pop out and shoot with his light crossbow. He gets advantage on the first one, and then flat on the second.
That hits. Doesn't hit.
Okay, so he pops out. He gets to hit you with that. I need a Constitution saving throw from you as poison bursts.
Okay. Can she uncanny dodge for some of that damage?
Yeah, you can uncanny dodge. It's just the damage roll. It's not necessarily like not taking damage and such. So basically, you take half damage when you uncanny dodge, which is good. But go ahead and roll me your Constitution saving throw.
Constitution save. Constitution. Where's it again?
Sneak attack. Oh, I rolled really good on that sneak attack damage. This does not pass, unfortunately. Okay, so you take a boatload of damage, but thankfully you get to halve it. So it's 8 plus 22 is 30, plus 19 is 49. But you get to divide that by 2, so you take 24 points of damage.
Okay. Beautiful.
Ooh. Yes, uncanny dodge is great. So that's just like your action to reaction, to have that damage. He pops out, does that. Seeing you here, he's going to try and hide again. Also, just for clarity, he's here. I'm just not going to move him on the map yet because if he successfully hides, I'm going to have to hide him again, which I'm going to have him do now. And Ingza, let me know your passive perception again. I'm sorry, I keep asking.
Oh, I know it's okay. It's 16.
Oh God!
I know exactly where he is.
No, he's hot garbage. You see him trying to like duck behind a door, but you see like his chest and like feet sticking out from the side of it.
He's just gonna.
he's there. So I'm gonna move him back to the main layer. But before that, I'll have Lucky. It is your turn.
Okay. He'll mutter, "The non-thief knife ear has stolen my kill." Actions.
What?
He is going to drop down. Can he actually get in? He can. All right.
Jesus, yeah. Yep.
He's gonna like run off, land, sword in hand, and I'm going to quicken cast vampiric touch.
Mm-hmm.
That is my melee attack. I don't know if that actually reflects correctly, but no, it does. Cool. So 21 hit.
Oh, for sure.
And because I quick and cast it, and vampiric touch is an attack, I could use my normal attack to attack again, because it is concentration.
Mm-hmm.
So I will do that again. That's less.
That still hits. Doesn't matter. That still hits.
And I'm gonna get some hit points back from this motherfucker. Here's some damage. It is level 3. Yo!
Those are all 6s on that side. Holy shit!
So yeah, it just comes back and the stabs viciously twice with it, and just like this life force going through the sword and into him. But yeah, that's 27 necrotic damage.
Yep. I accidentally.
Which means I get 13 back.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts me back at 79.
You see a little bit of surprise as you kind of like walk over to him, like recognizing that you're a caster. Also, just because of your like armor, you're just like bare chested and like walking around. So like There's a little surprise as you're walking up to him, but as you reach out, all of you hear a wonderful scream echo across this this rooftop, excuse me, as the touch lands, and he does not like it. But is that your turn, or is there anything else you're going to be doing?
That's everything. That's max move, bonus action. Let me just mark off my points, and
that brings us back to Garai.
Okay. I'm gonna use second wind as bonus action. Do I have that built into a roll somewhere? I don't. So I will roll D10. And we add fighter level of 10, so 19. I ain't mad at it. Gets us up to respectable numbers. And he's incapacitated, which doesn't give me any sort of advantage, bro. It's triple checking. Damage doesn't let him come out of it.
I was looking at that too. It does not. That was the first thing I read because I was like, "Can you just take swings on this man while he's?"
I can.
Yeah.
He gets a save at the end of his turn, so all I can do is roll good wisdom save.
Yep. Yes,
but I'm no longer at disadvantage.
But yeah,
boom, boom.
Exactly. You have advantage. You have advantage. He's incapacitated, so that's one hit.
According to the description, you don't. I was triple checking that. Restrained gives you advantage. Incapacitated just means I can't take actions or reactions.
Okay.
I will take the advantage.
Somehow still
believe me.
You're right. Now I'm giving you fucking. I'm gonna give you advantage, especially because we're in Garai's main arc storyline. It feels applicable right now. All right, good. So go ahead and roll me hilarious amounts of damage because Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, giant smite damage or sneak attack on the crit. I mean, it's no true rogue sneak attack like we saw a minute ago. But I'll take whatever that number says. I ain't mad at it. 24, 26 into 41. Yeah.
Yeah, 41 in one shot.
We'll take it. And then we will do 7 more minimum damage. But, we just did really good damage.
You just did awesome damage, So 48 points of damage altogether. This guy is very mad or very bad looking. It's not looking good. Fucked up. I had to describe him. Okay, so that was your action. Is there anything else?
Bonus action. I'm good. I second winded, so this is just me staying here. And now
sit here and play t-ball.
His turn. He gets to make a wisdom save at the end of his turn, and maybe he's back in the game.
We will see. Wisdom save.
He ain't back into shit.
God.
That's the end of his turn. Snake Boy, it's your turn.
Snake Boy is going to be a dutiful snake and get on the other side of this guy and try to bite him. He actually gets pack tactics now because I'm in range.
Tactics. Yes.
I was just gonna say tactics.
I always.
He only gets one bite though, so get him, buddy.
I love it. Yep, 21 hits.
He's gonna get bit.
Absolutely. This guy's AC is not super high. That's why he was the one who was constantly trying to hide. He can get knocked prone too. Cool. Let me.
Don't ask me how a cobra knocks you prone, but that's.
He bites out your Achilles. I don't know.
That's true. Or hamstring.
Strength? Yes, strength.
Strength.
He does
DC
not have,
13. It's huge.
He doesn't have any bonus to. He's prone.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's super prone. Hi, Chickadee. Thank you for the lurk.
Woo! Chickadee.
Oh god, yeah. So your snake goes up there, and I'm gonna say that's what happens. He bites out his Achilles through his boot, and the guy just falls to the ground, still screaming after he just got death touched, and now a cobra is biting out his ankles. Bad time for him. Anything else that your snake is going to be doing?
Unfortunately, that's the summation of his abilities. So no.
Okay, that brings us to Ingza.
Yay! Okay, so now that she is distracted and remembers that maybe she should not rifle through people's pockets while they're still fighting, so she's just like Bogley does, and she's going to throw a vicious dart at the target, and get the snake.
That's flame tongue, but that hits anyway because I think your vicious dart is just a -1 to that, so a 22 absolutely hits.
Sorry. I keep doing that. I apologize.
Fine.
Right,
It's okay. Don't worry. Yeah, go ahead
do
and
I
roll
take
your.
it for the sneak attack, or should I not?
You do because you have friends up in his business too.
You basically always get sneak attack.
Huh.
Yeah, correct. Because of your.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the flame tongue damage. Just go ahead and roll the vicious
Sorry.
dart so we get the correct. We'll keep the sneak attack from this roll.
Okay. Thank
but-
you. Oh God damn it! No, guys, hit the wrong one.
It's the same one.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
All right,
Go ahead
then
and
I just
roll
click
that
the
damage.
vicious attack. Fuck.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good. Fuck. Good
Oh,
lord.
you can see him breathe.
Oh, that. It's toast cam.
My equivalent of the origami.
Yes.
My equivalent of origami is toast cam.
It's friendlier because it's not passive aggressive. It's just hey, we get to look at a cat.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Exactly.
Mhm. No, I
Okay.
appreciate it.
This guy is looking very, very bad. Oh, I realized you should have had disadvantage because he's prone and you have a ranged weapon, but you just
okay.
rolled a bunch of d20s and I believe they all would have hit technically.
Okay.
Because this guy does not have high AC. Let me just double check. And if so, yep, no worries. You hit.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the ground. He takes lots of damage and is looking real bad. Actually, well, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Everything's good. He's prone and looking fucked up on the ground.
Thank you
That was your
for-
action to chuck that.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all I've got, I guess. Yeah, I do have a bunch of bonus actions, but they don't exactly apply, and I already moved, so I'm gonna just stay there.
Sounds good. So it's his turn now. He is going to use his movement to stand up, so he loses half of his movement. Shit's looking bad. Let's see. He is
that's
going.
Pathfinder.
He is going to disengage and run. He's attempting to go over here. Oh, he has half movement. So he's basically going to make it up to Ingza. And he seems like he's fleeing.
Can I clothesline him with a reaction?
No, he's disengaged.
Unfortunately, he disengaged.
disengaged.
Yeah. He's going to use his bonus action is disengage. His action is to dash. So he used his 15 to get there, and then he's going to use the rest of his 30 to run towards the door. It doesn't quite make it. He's pretty much there. But you can hear a door handle rattling as he's attempting to open the door there.
Gotcha.
But that's the end of his turn.
Can I make it? I can. All right. Yeah, he's gonna rush off after the coward. I don't have advantage because my snake bro is back there. Well, I'm a sorcerer. I can just burn some sorcery points and get 2 full things out. So he's gonna chase him, find him, and then quicken cast Eldritch Blast. So he's gonna have 6 incoming Eldritch Blast.
Sticks?
Yes.
Christ. Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is a cantrip.
Oh!
Who's the other?
It's looking good. It's looking good. It's looking good.
5.
This guy is garbage.
That's 6, right? Oh, there's an natty
All right.
one.
Woo!
All right.
That's Jesus. Yeah, go ahead and roll your damage for the 5 hits on this man's back as he's attempting to open the door. Good lord. So that's 19, 7, 14. All right, you're done. Nope, that's enough. He's dead. He's dead. The man's dead. How would you
He's
like
down,
to
he's down.
describe? Yeah. How would you like to describe his murder?
It's just like a pummeling, like an arcane, like he's. If you ever watched Training Day when Alonso's just getting shot, but it's Eldritch Blasts.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's, he does not get very far. It just gets gunned down on a balcony. That's the end of your turn, I'm assuming? Because that was your movement.
He will
action,
call out,
bonus
like, Ryan, you good?
We're good.
All right.
Deliver the finishing blow.
Like a true toxic masculine man, he will not check up on his friend who said he was good. That's in my turn. Thank you.
Because he said he's good. Yeah, and it is Garai's turn now.
Assume that you're still going to carry over the advantage.
Yes. Yes.
And then I'm gonna do
Was it not playing music this whole time and it just stopped?
No, you were. Well,
some real low
Cool.
sneak attack, but still a total of 23, so we ain't mad at it.
Oh, I'm sorry. He had 15 hit points left. Super dead.
Okay, so I don't even need the second swing.
No.
So basically, I'm gonna use it to grapple because essentially I'm just gonna shove the scimitar through and go. Turns out you shouldn't have been on the roof, and then just throw his ass off because I'm done.
Yes.
And the body goes splat on the other side of this building as he falls off the edge. So with that, all of these boys are murdered, which means we are out of combat now. So now that the music like fucking kicked up, I feel like if we have to like calm it down a little bit. But yes, you guys are now out of combat, and you can take a moment to look around or do whatever you would like.
Loot the body.
Sure, go ahead and give me an investigation check. I would say advantage because of you and your hilarious backstory.
What
What do
key
you
is
mean?
gonna drag this corpse away from the door?
Mm-hmm. As that's happening, Big Garai just like turns that corner. Yeah, okay, good. Ingza, on these bodies, you find very much what they were using. You see light crossbows on both of them. You do see they do have some melee weapons as well. Nothing like too out of the ordinary. They do seem to have a coating of poison on the blades that you're a little fascinated with because it doesn't seem to like rub off or have to be reapplied very much. You're used to sort of oils and such where like you apply it after a stab or two, you probably have to reapply it. But in this case, it seems like it's almost maybe part of the blade, but it does look like it was applied in some way.
Yeah.
But it looks like it takes a good amount of effort to get rid of it.
Okay.
Otherwise, they don't seem to have much. Very sort of light in terms of whatever they were carrying. They were clearly
Okay.
up here for one job, and guarding was it.
Okay. So she's just going to, take everything that she can basically get her hands on, including, the gold and whatnot. But she is, obviously gonna hold out to, just kind of gather them and just walk to Waki because that's all she can see at the moment. And then she's gonna see Big Garai, and just kind of, you want one?
What kind of weapons are they?
Light crossbow and a couple of blades.
Rapiers for the most part. Short swords. I'm sorry, short swords.
Short swords.
Yeah,
Did you
rapiers and
find
short
any
swords.
potions?
Foos, did I find any potions?
None of those.
Nope. Unfortunately, no. Be careful with the blades. It seems that they're infused with poison in a way that I haven't really seen before. I think it's really tough to get off. And she just hands him a short sword and just holds out, kind of waiting for him to say yes or no to taking it.
I mean, I have to get back to normal size now because in this, it only lasts a minute, and I gotta
I
go
know.
through a door in a second, so I'm gonna shrink down. But I mean, if this is a short sword dealing all sorts of poison damage, I mean, I ain't mad at a +1 scimitar, but extra poison damage speaks to me.
Sure.
So, I mean, she's just handing stuff out. Like she's like rested some of the stuff on the floor, is just like handing things. Whether you want, if you want them, then she'll just let you take them.
I will let you know. The short sword is regular short sword damage. The poison attached to it is an extra 2d6 poison damage.
Dope.
So it's the 3d6 essentially damage altogether.
And she's gonna go through this guy too.
Sure. Go ahead and give me investigation. Go ahead and just roll me this next investigation. I'll account for this body in the next because I'm sure she's going to check. The other
Okay,
one as well.
so still advantage? You want?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
just making sure.
Yes. I meant to say that too, but I stopped the sentence early for some reason. Okay. On this particular guy, let me make sure. I'm not gonna. Same thing. A lot of light light crossbow. I almost said short sword, but a short sword, the light crossbow. This one seems even kind of leaner than the others. The others had a little bit of like some kind of studded leather armor or something on them. This one seems to be like just not shabby, but very slim leather armor. It doesn't seem magical, but it looks like this particular one was likely the most adept at not being seen of the 4 that were here on this rooftop. But nothing worthwhile, unfortunately.
Okay.
And as you go to the other body, this one seems to have a decent amount of stuff. Not only gear, but also just kind of things. He does have a pouch filled with gold, which is, for you, not much. There's about 15 pieces of gold in there. He does have a great sword. He does seem to have a hidden dagger along his boot that also seems to be coated in that same poison, much like the other short swords that you found. He also seems to have about 2 different vials attached to the back side of his belt. You only found it after you like rotated his body over.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not entirely sure what's in there. It is dim. You have dark vision, but you can't really
color.
You can't really see color, unfortunately. Yeah, so it's just like there's liquid.
Can she take a stopper off and like smell and maybe judge from the smell?
Yeah, give me a constitution. No, I'm just kidding. Give me a I don't know what I would give for this. For you just trying to like check it out. Give me a perception check. Oh.
Yeah, because I guess I'm not really. Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah. It's not 16. An advantage, but the 16 is fine. It seems like a healing potion. It smells like the other healing potions you've encountered.
Okay, so she's gonna walk back over and, hold up the 2 vials. Healing potion?
If that's what they are, I will just take it and drink it because we have more fighting to do.
Yeah, she's out of the 2. She's gonna drink one of them.
Okay, so the 2 of you.
Well, if she's gonna drink one, I'm gonna offer the other one to Waukee first. But
no, it's fine. I'll take the life force from our foes this week.
Wow, how do you do that?
Study, practice.
Not from your weapon?
Magic.
Like
it's a conduit. Nothing more.
That's pretty cool. If at any point I would...
He's collecting ears, by the way.
Oh, Jesus. Just sawing off ears.
The dynamic of this group. All right, so it's a regular... How many healing... What am I rolling for this potion?
2d4 plus 2. It's a regular healing potion.
Regular jam. All right, I ain't mad at it.
Nice. And then plus 2 is 9. And same thing for you, Bagley.
Got it. Ooh.
Ooh. Okay, but hey, all right. Something. It helps. All right. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna do just a little bit of upkeep. I'm gonna sack 2 level 2s for sorcery points, FYI.
Okay, that sounds good.
He will also hand his reluctant partner the pair of elf ears that she stole from him, essentially. They're dried off. You're not like wet or anything.
She looks at it. Oh, she looks at him and said,
these are yours.
Oh, well, thank you. I know that I did kill him. You did, knock off some of his, prowess, but I'm not really going to use them, so you go ahead. Can I give them to you?
No, you took the life, you get the ears.
Okay, well, but they're kind of going to go to waste, though, because I'm not going to use them.
What you do with them is up to you.
Are you set to move?
So she's just going to be like, okay, and then she's just going to, like, pocket them. And she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. She looks so confused at you, like, thank you.
Write them down on your inventory.
Okay, I will.
No, I will wait. Oh no. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Are you both set to move, or do we need a moment?
I'm good to go, sir.
Ingza is actually going to, are there any windows along here? I'm assuming not, just because
No,
we got away with a lot. Okay, and so she's going to go up to the door and listen for a minute to try and hear if there's anyone inside, right on the other side of the door.
Yeah. All right. So Ingza pushes her ear up against the door that's there, and the door kind of matches the aesthetic of this rooftop, which is to say, like it's pretty nice. It looks like it's sort of a luxury home to be living in or building that is here. But as you're pushing up against it, you feel like the material that you're pressing your ear up against, you should be able to hear pretty easily. I don't hear anything. It is silent. And like so silent to the point where like even your breath against the door is like all you hear when you're there.
Okay, so she's going to say, this is weird. I can't hear a thing. And she's going to say this obviously in like a stage whisper so that they can hear it. Like, this is weird. I can't hear a thing. And so she's gonna like put her gloved hand on the door handle and kind of just turn it very, very slowly to see if anything, because she's partially also checking to see if there's something weird with the door, if there's a trap on the door.
Sure. Go ahead and give me an investigation.
Okay.
Nice. Very good roll. As you're kind of checking and turning that knob, you can, again, you're not hearing anything, but there's something with your just like your tactile, sensitive fingers, having been in the business for this long, you can feel something happening other than like it's going to open a door. You're not entirely sure what that means, and from what with this incredible investigation check, you can see that there's no trap. There's no like you open the door, you get your hand sliced off or anything like that. There's no physical or spell-based trap that you can see here. Mm-hmm. It's just that something else is happening with the mechanism as you're kind of playing with it.
So she's gonna just stop and she's gonna look at Waki and she's gonna say, this doesn't feel like a trap. Something else is happening with the door. If there's another kind of, as I turn, something else is happening. Can you see if it's another kind of magic?
Does he see if there's like an illusion or anything on it with his witch sight?
Okay.
I can link it if you want.
Yeah. I'm trying to wrap my head around how this would work. You can see any shape changer or creature concealed by transmutation magic. The creature. So it seems like it's creature based.
It does. It's just...
Right. So that was why you were able to see those guys on the roof, because they were creatures concealed by an illusion. For this, I would say just because of the magic of your witch sight, you can tell there's, in plucky terms, something fucky going on behind that door. Like it's kind of, it almost looks like frosted glass in a way, and therefore you should be able to see through it. But it almost looks like it's like white void behind it, and you know that's something's going wrong, and your witch sight is kind of letting you know that there's likely some kind of illusion or something else, but that's kind of all you're getting.
The door is more than what it appears. The details are lost to me, but it's not as it visibly appears.
If I were a betting person, I would say this is like a portal, like it goes somewhere else. That's what doors are for.
When that guy was trying to like use the door, was he using a key? Was there any like specific motions he was going for?
I'm gonna say his back was to you, and you shot him in the back numerous times, but you weren't looking at what his hands were doing. Okay. So I don't think you would really know. I don't think you would know. I think Waki would only really know that he seemed to be using his hands, and whether there was a key in there, you can't tell. But you also know that Ingza thoroughly looked through these bodies, and she did not find any keys.
Well, whether it's a door or a portal, it's what they use to get into the building, and into the building is where we need to be.
Okay. So
I got
no
it.
trap. What I can try and do is go in first, see what's in there, and then let you know what's happening. I'll try and keep the door open-ish. Okay?
Get to it.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'll acknowledge you if you had a concern. Like,
What
I'm
if
not
we
gonna-
used his body to open the door?
Ooh, good idea. That's
Maybe
great.
he's keyed to something.
You want to
Okay.
have somebody open the door, then from behind we just yeet him through?
Yes.
That's just a bonus, but I was thinking we could, you could hold him up, and then we could like hold his hands closed, and then open the door, so it's his flesh that's interacting with the door.
You have great ideas. You're amazing. Yeah. Right.
Part of me is like, I feel like if he's not alive, whatever magic you're counting on doesn't work. But part of me goes, he's the sorcerer. I don't fucking know. So we've been in enough scraps for me to not question your judgment on magic. So yeah, fuck it. We'll weekend at Bernie's this guy into the door.
We would like to weekend at Bernie's the door, please.
And roll the weekend at Bernie's.
Could you roll me a weekend at Bernie's check, please?
Roll a wham
Okay,
check.
so you guys are puppeting this man's body to
Yep.
put his hand on the knob, turn it, and open the door. Essentially, is what's happening.
Yes, ma'am.
And can
Okay.
I stealth behind him, please?
What'd you say?
Can I kind of stealth behind it? Because Ingza's plan is that even though he's opening the door, she's gonna like go in, like sneak past him at one point. I don't know how possible that is.
Yeah. I mean, that very much depends on what's inside, but I think just in preparation, you can roll me a stealth check. And can I just get a marching order, I suppose? I imagine Garai is puppeting the body because strong boy.
Yep.
And Waki, are you behind him? And then Ingza behind him?
I imagine we're flanking him so we can make use of the arms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ingza will be on the right side.
You asked for it, so is that, you know.
Oh,
what it is.
God. I didn't ask for you to puppet a body. Okay, so you guys
I don't
up
know where the
against
door
this
handle
door.
is, so wherever he is.
It's fine. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, where's a necromancer when you need one? Just make him a zombie. Go open the door.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so with you guys all kind of in this, let's see how easily this is done. Go ahead, all of you, roll me a sleight of hand to puppet this body in a way
Sleight
that
of hand, you say?
will otherwise not, harm you in some way.
Thank God for reliable talent.
Jesus
No.
Christ. Waki is struggling a little bit with this one. It seems.
Why is his
But,
hand so bloody? It keeps slipping.
But the three of you managed to like work this dead body into turning the knob and pushing it open. And Garai, you're kind of, mostly keeping this body supported. And I'll say it's Ingza's side just because her sleight of hand was much better than Waki's. But Ingza, you're the one who kind of gets the hand to manipulate the door and push it open. And as soon as you push it just a little bit, just Ingza also being careful, knows not to kind of like fucking throw the door open.
Mhm.
So she's just very like quiet or carefully pushing it. And the second it gets past about an inch, both doors kind of just blow open softly, opening this sort of 10-foot wide walkway to the three of you, as you see sort of an ornate looking, mostly almost pearl and marble colored environment. This room seems to be a little bit longer, but as you're looking down straight at it, these stairs lead up to what seems to be sort of like a long bench with a sort of mixture of like alchemical things bubbling, but like also textiles on one side with sort of like linens and a few weapons here and there, all of which look very beautifully made. And behind that desk seems to be a woman with sort of just long braids that are actually kind of full and thick. And as she moves, you can actually kind of see them bouncing around her face. Human in appearance, but with very colorful looking dress and robes on top of that. Pretty young, looking likely in her early 30s of some kind, but she kind of looks up at all of you and, well, close the door. You made quite a ruckus on the balcony.
I'm gonna throw this corpse aside and walk in.
The corpse just slides down the stairs. You guys walk in.
Oh god, Ingza is just gonna look around and just let Garai do Garai things, but just make sure that anywhere around them doesn't have other eyes or traps like watching them and things like that.
Sure. Go ahead and
Marquis
roll
is
me.
absolutely checking corners too.
Yes.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me your either I'll give you perception or invest. Actually, I'll give you perception just because this is kind of
Yeah.
quick as you guys are coming
Yeah.
down.
I'll take an investigation. That was on the table.
No, we're not. But this is where you find yourselves currently.
Mm. Oh shit!
1,
We
2,
rolled the
3.
same thing.
Did you really? You did.
I
But
rolled
I
an
rolled a
18.
natural
okay.
one.
Well,
And then that was an
you did
18
roll a
minus
natural
2.
one, but because of your reliable talent, it turned into a 16. So it looks like a natural one, but it is actually a 10 plus 6 or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, the two of you both roll a 16. I think for the two of you are noticing that there seem to be 2 spires kind of on the sides of this room, this very sort of like long room. And as you're kind of walking down these stairs, you can see on the right side, there seems to be an orangey looking crystal kind of figure of some kind. And on the left, there seems to be a blue. And both of them seem to have sort of swirling colors kind of around their base, almost some sort of, you can't quite tell if it's an illusion or some kind of arcane power effect of some kind, but there's color that's kind of dancing around these 2 structures. And they're both pretty large and imposing. But you see those 2 as you kind of step into this room, and the woman behind the desk still kind of looks over you. What can I do for you?
It's about what you can do for yourself. I have very particular business. It has already cost you 3 lives more than it has to. I do not particularly care how many the total grows to.
I never liked those guys anyway. So he kind of did me a favor.
Wonderful. Well, let me take one more off your hands.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Well, he fights with a scythe and a bow. He likes to count. And at the end of the day, he comes crawling back as some sort of mist or metal or something.
We have one here that matches that description, but I'm afraid he's busy.
Well, he's
Do you
about
have an
to get
appointment?
busier. Make one.
Can't. I will say, you probably don't want to be messing around here. Outside is fine. Like I said, I didn't really care for those guys, and not a really big deal. But I can see you're a man of conviction right now. So I will warn you this once. Have an appointment or leave.
Conviction implies principle, among other things. I have no conviction. This is fanaticism. My life has become distilled to this purpose. I will not be swayed or turned aside, reasoned with, or bullied. So I will go past you or through you. I do not care. I'm going to draw a sword at this point.
Hold, brother. Perhaps she can make room for a walk-in.
She's welcome to.
So you do want an appointment then?
If you can make it in the next 5 minutes.
Oh, no. It'll take some time for sure.
What time frame are we looking at if we were to entertain this?
Oh, let me see. She seems to kind of apparate a book that is nowhere near the, like, it wasn't on the desk. It didn't seem to be on her body at all, but with sort of a wave of her hand, it seems to kind of form in her fingers, and she just kind of flies through some of the pages. Again, not touching the book, just kind of motioning over it, and as it sort of flies through a few and flips and stays on a particular spread. Well, if you can wait about 17 hours, we have an opening then.
Your
I
call,
don't like
brother.
any of this, Foos. What are you doing?
We add her smoking
trust
pile,
it,
or
I don't
we wait
care for
16 hours?
Sorry, what did you say? I was too busy laughing at Joe.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying it's your call, brother. It's your op. I follow your lead.
just weighing. That's a long time, but it's not like excessively long. I could wait a day to kill a man. But also, what are they actually going to set up? Like, what's an appointment entail? And also, I have to break out of the fucking palace again. A second time. To come back here.
There's a lot going through Garai's mind right now.
Yeah. I don't think we came here to make appointments, but it is your call. I don't know. I'm very suspicious.
One, he'll be prepared. Although we would have to
He'll never
take
not
this
be.
alchemical lady out of the equation as well, which is probably going to cost a modicum of effort to consider.
Why would you even offer the chance?
Because that's how we operate.
Anyone can come off the street and request an attempt on any of your lives with an appointment.
Anyone with a history with us, which you do.
And I just want to try and read this person. Like, the fuck is happening?
I'm new to this city. Who's us?
Not you, as in multiply all of you. Garai and his family have a tie with this business. So,
I'm asking what the business name is, not.
oh, I'm sorry. You are an outsider, so you cannot know.
I say we kill her. Can we just kill her?
I mean, there's multiple like little offshoots. This is like she literally just can't say the name, right? If this is what I'm.
As far as you know, yeah.
Yeah.
But Wacky, go ahead and give me another. I'll say. I'll let you choose between investigation or perception.
That's not a choice.
I'm telling you, it's shit or ass. That's all I got right now. Oh damn. A very, very good roll. Lucky, your witch sight is kind of playing with you a little bit, especially just because as you were outside, this room just seemed like a white vacant space, and when you walked in, you came here instead. So whether that was illusion or something else, you're not entirely sure yet. But there's something kind of at play in terms of what you're seeing and where you're going. And just because of that, I feel like Waki just takes a moment to look around and perhaps get a little more information. And as you're kind of looking, you start seeing what seems to be like almost like a texture kind of running up about these walls are very high, by the way, or the ceilings are very high. So the ceiling is about 20 feet in height, but about 15 feet up the wall behind this woman, where there are doors. They're not open. The map has them open, but they are closed right now. But above that, from about 5 feet to the ceiling and then along the ceiling, you can recognize there's some kind of like pattern or some texture that's not on any of the other walls. And it's weird. And your witch sight is struggling and you're kind of like blinking and trying to focus. And after focusing for a few seconds with your 21 investigation, you start making out faces along the ceiling and along the walls, all kind of articulating a little bit in their own way, like cheeks kind of twitching or eyes looking in your direction or eyes closed in some cases, but numerous, likely hundreds of faces line the walls and ceiling.
Brother, it has appeared that you have brought us to some kind of facial menagerie.
What?
He'll
Many
do a
things,
quick-
none of them good.
he'll do a quick minor illusion to kind of emulate what he's seeing without the headache-inducing effect.
Oh God. Oh.
It's fine. Yeah. And each of you see and it's also they're all colored the same color as like the walls and the ceiling. So it's this sort of like sort of an off-white, almost kind of like pinky tan color that's all of these faces along the walls and ceilings.
I guess based on what I'm feeling vibe-wise from her and what I know about this particular organization, if I make an appointment, do I get an honest shot at killing this guy? or am I going to get ambushed by 40 dudes? Because it feels like that's the logical thing they would do. Is be like, cool, he agreed to meet us. Let's murder the shit out of him again.
Go ahead and give me an insight check with advantage, because you have some background with these folk.
Mhm.
Not bad, not bad. You imagine, because strangely enough, you worked for obviously this very back alley, fucking underground investigation that did a lot of shady shit. The thing that always struck you as weird, and part of the reason why the deal that you worked out with them to work for them for a little while, you stuck around for as long as you did, was because it seemed as though when they said something, they meant it. And that went company-wide, we'll say. Very, very often, it seemed as though they were honest, just terrible people.
I'm going to put my sword away and sigh. Because I wanted blood now. But very well. 17 hours.
You can wait in our waiting room if you would like.
That saves me a problem. And again, if I'm choosing to trust, it makes no sense to trust halfway.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna I'm gonna go. I have no more words for her.
Stomps off. But she was motioning towards the orange crystal like tower on the side.
That is where I will. Like, how do I like? I'm trying to determine where the door is. Some of these are. Is this open space under this beam? Can I walk through that?
It's just yes, it's just a beat. So confused. It's okay. Yeah, no worries.
Top-down perspective can be a tricky bitch.
Exactly.
I'm
exactly.
more Snake Boys, but I'm gun.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. During that talk, he definitely left. But as you kind of walk up to it, she just kind of pipes up a little bit after kind of jotting something down in the book that she apparated, and then kind of letting it disappear with a flourish. Touch the crystal, and you will be taken to your waiting room. If you need to leave, simply shout.
All right. I am going to one more time try and see if I can recognize what this crystal is. Again, yeah, if you're going to trust, you got to trust, but now I'm touching magic stuff.
This is weird shit. Good. Arcana or investigation?
Let's look at those numbers. They're the same number,
I
but
would
runes
help him
give
out.
me Arcana advantage. So
Okay, well, there you go.
just
And,
a brief
Waki,
glow.
Okay, Waki, if you're doing the same, you can also Arcana, just because that's clearly something up your alley. Oh, Jesus. Whew. Okay. I'm gonna start with Garai as he's looking at it, and then we'll go to Waki. But Garai, as you're looking over this crystal, it's massive. It's bigger than you expected, especially as you're kind of walking up to it. And again, you can kind of see some sort of arcane or magic like twirling around at the base of it. And you can't quite tell what is going on, but like you can feel sort of like an atmosphere around it. It's cozy, as weird as that might sound. You're in a desert city at night, and that's very, very cold outside, and if it's not cold, it's very, very hot. But like just being around it, it feels like it's a comfortable temperature. There seems to be just the slightest of breezes, and there's even like a fragrance of some kind maybe coming from there that is like very subtle, but just kind of almost like a lavender or something, just something very calming, soothing vibes you're getting from this crystal. But otherwise, you're not entirely sure what's going on. And Waki, you get all of that. And then in staring at it with a little more clarity and kind of knowing maybe what to look out for, there are many different facets on this giant shard, basically, that you're looking at. And as you're starting to kind of like focus and feel that environment, you're also seeing little scenes in each one of those little facets. There seem to be various different groups of people, sometimes singular, just little silhouettes, really small in those little like facets and shapes along the sides of this thing. And you're kind of putting together that this is likely a step into a dimensional room, essentially. And this whole crystal houses all of them. So essentially, you will likely get a private room where the three of you will be, as you can see all these other kind of spaces.
You trust them?
I trust that they don't lie, strange as that is. Normally, they don't need to. But now, and at any other point, if it feels like it's going to be anything less than what they say it is, you should both leave.
Once we touch that, I don't think that'll be an immediate option.
Are you absolutely sure about this?
For me, yes. I don't insist that either of you take this any further.
Oh, I
Not
get
your
that.
I'm not going to mourn you for a second time. Let's go.
And as you touch the crystal, you watch as whoever's first to touch it seems to kind of almost like break away into particles, similar to kind of like the snap in Marvel. But as they sort of break away, they seem to kind of float into one facet in particular. One that didn't seem to be facing you in the direction you were going in, but getting kind of sucked into this different part of the shard. Each of you, one by one, kind of do the same and also get pulled in. And despite the visuals, as it's happening, it just kind of feels like you're going through like a water slide almost. It just feels like you're moving without any effort, and you can feel and like tell that you're moving, but it's not as disorienting as maybe watching someone fall apart and get reconstituted in this new space. But this new space is very similar to the space you were just in. It seems to be a perfectly circular room, same kind of color and decor, some of these other sort of blue crystals sort of floating around the room. But rather than kind of that entry lobby sort of setup that you were just at, there seems to be like a lounge kind of atmosphere. There are cushions and chairs, and there seems to be a table of some kind, a washroom kind of like off to the side as well, and just a place to dwell, essentially, and rest for a bit. And as you're kind of walking into sort of like this circular lounge area where the pillows and cushions are, you can see a small, like coffee table sized little table sort of appear with various little snacks and foods and drinks populating them as you kind of walk up to them.
Real fancy.
Certainly more so than I would like.
With you guys here, I think it's probably a good time to take a break.
Yep.
And we'll come back to you guys in a shady break room after our break. So we'll be back in a bit.
Break them, break them, break them, break them.
Like 10 minutes or something?
Yeah, we'll be back.
So, like,
5.
There it is.
There it is.
Hello. We're back with unfinished business. As Joe was hilarious saying during the break, felt really hilarious vibes to just come in ready for murder and then basically be taken down as a meeting appointment in the future and now be hanging out in a lounge. So you guys are in this sort of pocket dimension lounge of some kind, waiting your 17 hours or so. But you have all kind of stepped into this space and you have this time to yourselves. So if there's anything you would like to do in this time, whether that's talking or just quietly waiting, you have the opportunity to do so.
He's just gonna add his ears to the ear collection, and then meditate for the most part.
Good.
Inza is going to be examining everything. Just
You sound further away. To find the mic first, and then there you go.
That's my fault.
There you go.
So she's going to be examining everything, partly
Mhm.
for curiosity, partly just because she wants to. Because I feel like we didn't really discuss it, but I feel like she was partially like hired for this job. So, she just wants to do her due diligence and make sure that they're protected and that she understands the area in which they may or may not encounter a fight or maybe betrayed. I don't know. She's very uncomfortable at the moment with this situation.
I think the correct word for what I'm doing is brooding. Because it
Is that
would
how
be
you pronounce
sitting
it?
quietly,
Brooding? Uh-huh.
but with an intensity of the face. I'm sitting here just trying to remember in character the various things that I know about the guy, anything we could do with this time to prepare ahead of time. And I don't have any particular answers at how to make yourself immune to necrotic or force damage, but
Mhm.
I'm thinking about that. And I'll just remind the people that for whatever reason, he likes to count to 4. And when he counts to 2 and when he counts to 4, he does stuff. He's unnaturally fast. And to keep spellcasting as much as to a minimum as possible. Whatever you can do to cast up front and then use the effects of those without recasting. And how do you overwhelm someone like that? I don't know. It's like if we just overwhelm him with force, kill him while he's down. But
Just get in there and kill him. We'll be fine.
I'm gonna look wistfully at my rune that makes me resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. That won't help me even a little bit against this guy, and then just move on.
I have something that might help, but will require at least one spell cast.
Just be prepared.
yeah.
He'll react to magic.
I think I'll be ready.
Maya just posted a gif of Batman as Joe in Discord. Accurate. All
Yeah,
right.
Does
So
Inza see anything, or can I roll a perception check, or what do you think I can do?
for what exactly? Sorry.
So Inza was not only observing the room, but just like checking out to see if there's any, crawl spaces or a trap somewhere.
Oh, like
or-
secret.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah. You have 17 hours, so yeah, obviously you could take time to do that at some point. But there don't seem to be any entrances or exits from this room. And you also gather that's likely due to the pocket dimension aspect of that. You were kind of transported into this room, and you likely need to be transported out. But that also means that, no ninjas in the floorboards. So you're at least safe in that you're alone in this space, and anyone who comes in will likely come in a very obvious way, the way you guys did. But nothing else that seems to kind of worry you or catch your attention very much.
Okay. In that case, in between them talking, she's going to go into her trance and try and get some health back.
Not a problem. I am assuming that you guys would probably hunker down for a long rest at some point as well.
Yeah.
Just because that is quite a bit of time to be chilling. So undisturbed and in this kind of cozy but otherwise tense waiting room, you guys complete your long rest. So make sure that you get your cooldowns back, any hit points, anything that you are missing, make sure you add those back in.
Hey. Thank you.
Remind me, when it comes to supplying poison to a weapon, how many is it just the next hit? How long is a weapon poisoned for?
I believe it's the next hit, and then that's it essentially. And also that is hit. So like if you miss, then it doesn't count until you land.
Gotcha.
But I will double check while we do that.
And could I dip a blade in multiple poisons?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. The poison retains potency for 1 minute before drying. So you have 1 full minute. Yeah, exactly.
So this is a right before the fight sort of thing. Gotcha.
Yes. 1 minute. Yeah, and that was part of the reason why their poison seemed incredible, because it seemed to last indefinitely on their weapons as opposed to having to be reapplied. But
What if we just mix the poison with some olive oil?
Then they're gonna be ready to cook after being heated on a stove for a little bit. But no, it unfortunately will not prolong that. Oh, hey Mark, how's it going? Sorry,
Mark, what's up?
What
I
up?
saw the adorable Cthulhu wave, and I had to say hi.
Foos, may I just ask you for the because I can pick up 2. It says I can pick up 2 proficiencies that I don't have, but is it just with an object?
I believe that is your swapping stuff. I will go check right now. What is it called?
It's called trance, and I put it in the.
Oh, the trance. I'm sorry. I thought you were looking at something else. You mystically. Oh, okay. It's a weapon or tool of your choice.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah, which it says there. So it's not necessarily like your skills or anything like that, but it's like, hey, if I want to be proficient in smith's tools, you get the opportunity to have that.
Okay. So and in weapons. So since they picked up a couple of weapons, can she choose to be proficient in the? Because I don't know. I don't think I'm proficient necessarily. Wait, long sword, short sword. Simple weapon.
You can absolutely use them. The long sword, unfortunately, would not give you sneak attack damage.
Right.
Because it needs to be a finesse weapon. But you absolutely have proficiency in a short sword already.
Yeah, I was just looking at the bottom. Okay, so I guess I could do. Let me read. Let me read a couple of different things that I could potentially do and choose from there.
All right, sounds good. She genuinely put elf ear pair on her item or equipment list.
I did.
Oh no.
Good.
All right. Anything else that you guys need to get done or do while you're here to adjust?
I guess one other question. I assume it's a joke. I can't put 2 different poisons on one blade, but if a blade does poison damage, like the short sword says, could I apply a poison to it?
That is a very specific instance in which, yes, you can. But, like, you couldn't apply it to a regular... Because it's almost like the poison is the sword, the way that they have applied it. So you can apply on top of that. Just think really hard.
Triple stack poison. You're going to be so sad when he's immune to poison.
He very well could be. He's a cheating bastard. I would not be surprised.
He's a cheating bastard.
Anybody like?
Certainly not you guys.
Absolutely not. Where is?
So, Foos, I have a question. Could
Yes.
it be? Could I be proficient in ranged weapons, or am I already?
You already are.
Fuck. Okay. You've not listed there. That's why I was kind of like, meh.
Could have stolen some bows. Right.
Hmm.
You say this creature was killed before.
Well, driven off.
Do we have a way of keeping him here?
This is where he fled to, so if he were to flee again, I don't know how far he would go.
Okay. As a collector of morbid things, would he recognize those faces as like being arranged in the way of like a collection?
I would undoubtedly say you do recognize them as a collection. Um, uh, give me a history check, which I'm sure
Oh,
you're
my
great
boy
at.
is a
See
student
if
of
that-
history. Don't you
If that
worry.
hits any lore, yeah,
Yep.
it's certainly a collection. Obviously heavily magic influence there because they were moving and were all there and such, but I would say other than it being a collection, you did recognize that they all were different. It wasn't just sort of like the same face over and over again. They seemed to be unique between each one.
Gotcha.
So that thing that you showed us before, the illusion with all of the faces and whatnot, what do you think that is exactly? Have you seen that kind of magic before?
No. I don't know. Based on the ritualistic way that these guys kill, I imagine it's some kind of soul collection or something. I don't know. Maybe this guy's an artist who's commissioned by whoever his patron is to add to this work.
So those were souls you saw?
I mean, physical bodies need things like air and food and things that are difficult to get in their current state. So I'd imagine some kind of, if not souls, some kind of transformative state. All assumptions. I have no data to back this up.
Well, you gotta make an educated guess sometimes.
As he's saying this, Ingza and Garai can make me history checks as well. This is a very high DC, but just seeing that if in any of your experiences
Nope.
it possibly came up.
Got me.
Garai, with an 18. I also want to mention that you were likely obviously thinking about murder when you walked in, so when he was showing it to you, you're like, that's nice, I don't care. Like, but now that you have time to like sit on it and be like and have the conversation, a collection, sure. A woman, sure. The atmosphere was kind of strange, but the more your friend starts talking about it, the more you're wondering if this could be some kind of spell casting collector of some kind. And typically those take the form of hags. They often play with many illusions as well. And considering that the whole balcony and even that space that you were in seemed to be full of illusions, you obviously have no idea what kind, but just sort of narrowing down the hints that you're getting and hearing your friend talk about it, probably a hag, if you had to guess.
Sounds like a hag if I had to put a name to it. So ideally we don't deal with that. Not here, not today.
The lady upstairs is a hag.
Or a hag lives here.
Oh,
I don't think she was a hag. I would have seen it.
oh. So, oh. They can, all right. So then what do you think she is instead of being a hag?
I think she's an accomplished alchemist, potentially.
I mean, could she be a hag in training, like a young hag?
Oh, my dear child. That is
She
not,
rolled a 9. I mean,
that is not how hags work.
so you have to be
No.
old already to be a hag?
Hag is a species.
Oh. I didn't know that. Okay, so, there's no way she could have, like, hidden her appearance or her magic aptitude from you. Okay.
Unlikely.
I mean, considering some of the other stuff we've seen, I'm kind of open to more of the realm of impossibility, right? some weird stuff is certainly happening, so I kind of wouldn't put it past them to pull that out of thin air.
It's probably somewhere up along the line. Just because she's not the hag doesn't mean she doesn't work for one.
Oh, okay. So there could be a hag about. Okay, all right. So
Like it's a bear wandering in your backyard. It's just a hag. Like ah.
Exactly. That's
There's
exactly.
a hag in the backyard again. Get the shotgun.
Get some rocks. No. So okay. So how would we presumably fight a hag? I kind of feel like this is, even if we win and do kill this target, we're still gonna have to deal with them.
If I may, I think our mission begins and ends with whatever this creature is. If we incur the wrath of this organization or whatever hags happen to reside in it, we'll just have to deal with that as it comes. Hags are typically schemers and like super selfish and vindictive. They wouldn't immediately come and try to violently kill us. They would try to barter away something you hold dear. They gain satisfaction in a very grotesque manner, even for me.
Sounds like a few people who live here in the city. Makes a lot more sense.
So we need to slow him down. We need to pin him and potentially, if we win, find out where he goes. And end it there.
Find out where he goes? I'm sorry, so when... Did you say something about when he dies, Garai? Did you tell us that before?
He, I don't know if die is the right word. He ceased fighting and retreated, whether it was some sort of effect that takes place when he would otherwise die, or if it was an emergency something. But he fled back here faster than I could follow.
Kind of sounds like what orcs can do. You know, how when you nearly beat them and then they have almost like a second wind.
It's taken to an extreme, I suppose. He didn't merely just prevent death, but also escaped the fight.
So, okay, so magically he did that and then he went to another location?
Transformed into something. Just a sphere.
So, almost like a bird kind of going to ground, right?
If that analogy makes sense, I will not. I don't know anything about birds.
She's gonna say it's like a safe space. Like the sky is, not that safe. So a bird is gonna go at some point to a place on the ground where it is safe to, I guess wait out a storm or elude predators, things like that. So I'm wondering if he has a magical equivalent of that. Is it this place? Is it an object?
It's a pretty basic function for most living creatures to seek safety in the event of their death. But
In the event of their death?
But most don't transform into primitive shapes and then accelerate at a speed to which no one could follow.
It's likely that he came here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to suss out. Like if he came to a location or maybe even like a room or maybe even something smaller. Is that possible?
I couldn't follow him the whole way. Anything past this building is beyond my knowing.
Okay.
So if he dies here, either we'll be close enough to track where he goes, or he will just be dead.
One can hope.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about, because we get all the way only to encounter his second wind.
What day is it?
Of the week, or
Yes.
like what do you mean?
I want to figure out where the timeline this takes place in the grand kidnapping that's going down on
This
Friday.
is Thursday.
Okay.
You guys are kind of like eking into Friday morning because of your 17-hour break.
Okay. Well, I'm going to continue to meditate. You guys
You hold on real quick. Joaquin summons a weapon, right? You don't carry one?
Correct.
Okay, you probably can't apply poison to that. But maybe you can.
If it's summoned and you apply it while it's summoned, I think you can. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm
What
gonna
kind of
assume-
damage does it do?
It's a sword. It's a long sword, so smashing.
Yeah, then I think if you have it summoned, yeah. But if the second you desummon it, I think it'll like fall to the ground. Like all the oil will just like disappear.
I think you kept some poison, so if you've got a quill poison, great. Did you end up taking both crawler venoms, Ugly?
I think I did, and I paused on putting the crawler venom on the darts just because I knew we would take a little while longer than a minute, and then I forgot to say that I applied it, and which is why I was like, okay, or forgot to say that I wanted to apply it. So I haven't used any of it yet. So would you?
I think our best chance is if I were to take one of those. Then from the beginning of the fight at least, every time either of us strike him, there's a chance we immobilize him. And then we can act on that vulnerability.
Okay. So she gives him one of the two, and I'll mark my sheet down to one.
Also, everybody roll me a d20 because Kit is giving one of you a inspiration die.
Oh,
Hey, those go to Foos.
they do not.
Kitendo!
Nintendo. Dinners.
Oh,
Oh,
Yep.
you son of a...
nope.
Well played,
So-
sir. It is your
So
show.
congratulations. You have a d4 inspiration. Thanks to Kit.
Thought I had it locked with the 6.
Unfortunately for you, there's 5 numbers below that, and Joe found one.
I found
There you
one
go.
of them. Well, hey, we have 2 inspirations now, a D4, then 1 group.
Mhm.
Indeed.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna make a point to say, put the crawler venom on your sword. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt as a thief that you also were gonna do that. But I'm making a point to say it.
Okay. And she nods yes, yes. As soon as this is done, I will put it on.
Yeah, when the fight's
electric
about to
gong.
begin.
Yes.
All right, then I have those questions that I'll just need to have in mind before we get to the fight. Is the 2d6 poison of the short sword? It had a save component, correct?
Yes, it is a save or suck situation, unfortunately. I believe the DC is 15. I'm going to go double check for you.
Okay.
Yes, DC 15. Poison stuffs.
Okay. So that is what I need to know that. And then the other question, how does stowing and drawing weapons, you can draw a weapon as part of the attack, right? But you couldn't sheath a weapon and then draw a new one in attack, right? That's a lot.
I mean, I know there's actual rules on this, but I usually just ask for like a quick dex check to see if you can get it done as like a bonus action or something.
Gotcha.
So we kind of play that as we go. If you're going to be swapping, unless you roll horribly, it shouldn't take like an action essentially.
Okay. And that what I know for the fight. Then I'm prepared for a long rest. I think that's all the prep stuff I can think of to do.
Alrighty. So with everybody taking their long rest, thankfully, and not kind of expecting it as well. Depending on your mindset, of course, as you are here, the environment itself is nice. But the terms in which you are in this room are not nice. So it's likely a bit of a stressful sleep as you rest here in this unfamiliar but accommodating space. And as you guys all kind of wake from your rest, you know you still have a little bit of time, and that time is taken for your preparation and getting your mind and your weapons and your bodies ready for what should come. And as the 17 hours come to their end, an all-encompassing, nearly radiating voice seems to echo through this room, and you're able to recognize it as the woman who essentially sent you to this room, or at least directed you to go wait. But she kind of speaks up through the room. I believe your appointment will be starting within the next 5-10 minutes. Are you ready to prepare yourselves?
I'm going to give each of you the courtesy of looking before I just say yes for the whole group, but
You get the nod.
I was about to just nod. So we did, yes, we're ready.
Yeah.
Perfect. Make sure to hold on to all of your belongings. You will return to the lobby shortly. And as she finishes saying this, each of you, one by one, once again, sort of like disintegrate into pieces and get pulled out of this space and back into the, now that you know, lobby that you were in not too long ago. The orange giant shard still seems to be there and still pulsating. And now that you're out, although Joaquin saw it very easily previously, Garai and Ingza, you both can now actually recognize the different seemingly rooms on this crystal, that you can just look and see other people resting in other lounges that are various sizes as well. But as you come out, you can see the woman is behind the desk still with her book out. All right, just a few more minutes. Thank you for waiting and for your patience. And besides aggression, is there anything else I should let him know?
No.
Perfect. Then if you wait just a moment, we will send you to the room.
Here it was. I thought you were going soft, becoming an officer and upholding the law, and you're still the same guy. I missed you.
There was a time when those things mattered.
Sorry, there were some noises. Can you repeat that?
How dare you, Foos? All I said in response to you turned to the law was there was a time when those things mattered.
As you wait for a moment, she eventually looks up again from her book. I believe he is waiting, and she motions behind her, and the double doors open, much like you see on the map currently, but they kind of pull open. And rather than seeing a hallway or room this sort of leads into, it's very much like almost like a sheet of light that doesn't seem to be blinding, but it is rather bright. And I would say for, I almost said Ingza, but Waki, what you kind of, it looks very similar to sort of like the film that was between the door of like the front door. There clearly seems to be some sort of illusion or transportation or something happening between what was at that door and then this doorway that is now open to you. But she motions behind. Go ahead and step on through. He's waiting for you in the scribe's lounge.
What kind of weird, like, airport level
We're just gonna find a man in the scribe
concierge?
All right. I mean, do I get a vibe that this is the moment to apply poison?
Yeah, you get the vibe that you're probably going to be transported directly into whatever room.
Because I don't plan on mincing words. I plan on drawing steel. So I guess I'm gonna take a second to apply cobra venom to my scimitar and the quill poison to the short sword I picked up.
Okay. And she watches you do so and just waits for you to step through. And assuming everyone does. I'm just making sure there was nothing else.
Giving anyone else a chance to be doing whatever they want to do, and then once everyone's ready, I will jump through.
Okay, sounds good. As you walk through, there's an immediate light change. The room that you were in was very well lit, actually, now that you think about it. It was night outside, but it was very, very bright in here. And that doorway that you find yourself walking through is also made of entirely light. So it goes from decently bright to extremely bright to dim rather quickly. And as you're stepping into this space, it's very long and it almost feels like it's like a church nave in the way that it is just super high ceilings. There seems to be a second floor of sort of like a balcony and a bridge that kind of goes over the center of this. But all along the sides are kind of dotted with desks and tables and various scrolls and books that are kind of laid out along them. As you're looking down, you can see very strong beams of light coming in from windows, but it doesn't quite match the time of day that you were expecting. It was night when you first arrived, and with your 17-hour break, it should be well into the morning, meaning that the sun should have risen by now. But in this room, it feels like it is sunrise, like it's just coming out. The light is orange and strong, warm, but very obviously coming through these windows that are along the sides. And towards the back, there seemed to be a set of stairs, a larger desk, and seated at that desk is a very familiar masked individual who kind of tilts his head up in your direction. And the length of this room is quite long, I will say. So walking up takes a little bit of time, but other than him, it seems to be empty currently as you walk into this space. But as you make your way in, he looks up at first, closes whatever book he had, and stands up to sort of address all of you. I'm quite surprised that you actually made an appointment. I thought for sure you were going to die in that lobby. But welcome, I guess. It is, I wouldn't say a pleasure, but seeing you again. You brought friends that only one I recognize, and he stares at Waki. How far did you come to get here?
Far enough.
And you have been skulking around the city for some time, so hello.
I wouldn't say skulking.
I would.
I know, but I mean, we all can't be this classy.
It's okay. It's in your nature.
It's not in my nature. You don't pay
Just
attention
doing
to
a quick
him.
racism, no big deal.
Oh.
Yeah, just we're on the same side, but I can't help but be racist sometimes. But this is more or less where you find yourselves, and where he is. You are a little bit further away. I just pulled you closer, so it was a little bit clearer at least. But as he sort of watches each of you, he settles back on Garai. Although it is kind of hard to tell where he's looking if he doesn't move his head, but he seems to be deliberately moving his head to each of you, because his full face is covered with his mask. So you've been killing your way here, I imagine, to have yet another bout with me. I offer you conversation, and perhaps a little bit more information. Because I could kill you again, and that wouldn't really bother me. But a broken man with no purpose is not a fun kill.
Why would you think you're worth words?
I'm not, but maybe your wife is.
Now I gotta do some plumbing the depths of Garai real quick.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it adds a slight bit of anger and not just this is all I have left to the I'm gonna draw weapons and get this party going. But yeah, that's not enough. Nope. He's not worth words.
Shall we roll initiative then?
Oh, we shall. This asshole
We
put a
shall roll
giant
initiative.
hallway in the way just so he could say some shit. He doesn't deserve it.
Run my ass all the way over here. Yes, please go ahead, select your tokens, roll your initiative. I believe this is where we will have to pick up next session,
Probably.
which I'm very excited for. Oh.
It does not let you.
No, my
Energy
first was 14.
Does not
I
do
just
that.
said I didn't click on my token.
All right. Well, the
Well,
17.
and Nenners, we have a group inspiration. We also have that's expiring. We also have
Yes.
the
The
D4.
D4 expires tonight, so one of you guys might want. Why is it tonight? It's fucking 3 p.m. Foos.
No,
Someone can add it to their initiative if they would like, but otherwise,
Nanners.
it is.
I mean, we all go before him,
We all go, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
which
if
is
it's,
basically a miracle, I think.
Really?
14.
Yeah,
Currently, yeah, he rolled garbage on his initiative.
Rolled a 2.
I fought this man twice. I don't think he rolled below like a 90. So this is
I know. I did forget how time works, Maya. Don't yell at me. Oh, I should be taking this time to look at who we can raid in the meantime. But yes, go ahead and add a D4 to someone's roll if you would like.
I mean, I'll do it on mine, but
May as well.
Yeah, just to get a little higher. Because what if he summons
Just to
buddies?
make him feel bad.
Oh yeah, Nenners! Yeah!
let's
Very
go.
nice.
Very nice.
Highest my key will ever be.
Ever in the history of ever. Okay. Let's see. I'm just looking at it a little
Oh,
bit.
you killed my father, prepared to die. Hello, my name is Garai. You killed my father.
Yeah.
My name is Garai. You killed me. Prepare to die.
Yes! I
killed
almost spit out my tea. Oh my god.
Me prepared to die. Yeah, jeez, I don't know what time it is anymore. Okay, anyway, we're gonna definitely like raid someone that probably we've never raided before because of the time of day that we're playing in. But we get to come back to this awesome combat, which I'm super excited for. And I was also interested to see if any detail would sway Garai, and we got one to sway him, and that was that he could make an appointment.
Yeah.
That was it. But otherwise, we're here to fight, baby.
His
And
wife is dead, right?
No, she just left my ass. So
Yeah.
Oh.
When he was coming back to the city, which she was a native of, she was a native of Kimatha Kimane, but she moved out, met him, and they got married, had a kid. But when things were going bad with his sort of underground job, he wanted to come back to her city because she always talked about how safe and like nice it was, essentially. And she was like, no. So when he was taking the daughter there, she basically split from them. And Garai was a single dad for a little while. But that's what happened. So she's not dead. And anyway, I'm doing all this talking and said, actually, hold on. Let's see. I think I know these people.
She left you to raise that girl all by herself?
Yep.
All right, man. Yeah, you made the right call. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, part of me was like, maybe he's threatening her, but either she's already in trouble and I don't know how to fix it, or he's gonna go kill her after he's done with me and I'll be dead. But he's gonna die, and that way I keep her safe, I guess. Probably.
We're good. Don't worry. Everything's fine.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I mean, he made me mad.
Yeah.
Because how dare he?
Yeah, him saying that just ignited you, I'd imagine. So.
Yeah. No, I'm now taking forever. It's the Monty Python thing where it's the guy Lancelot running up the hill to the castle over and over and over again.
It's like 6 of the same shot.
And then suddenly
this is a cool map.
appears and stabs that dude. Amazing. I love it.
I really like this map. The Continental Lounge at the airport.
It reminds me of like, it's got some Moorish kind of elements to it, like Grenada architecture style.
Yeah, we actually, in terms of the Shiny Boys leaving on initiative, we usually don't, but just because of our time frame and like us hitting it, we're like, this was the good time to be like, and then we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I kind of love the idea of like starting a combat and then just like breaking in the middle of it, I guess, just because I think it's fun to be mid-combat and like think of the next few rounds over like a week. I don't know why. I know for some people that's like really, I don't know, maybe like tension breaking or something.
Sometimes you leave mid-combat and then you give the wizard a week to go, shit, I have 2 bags of holding? Like I can put one of those, got another one of those, and get this problem just to be gone?
And then solve it. It's so hard. Yeah, I totally understand that too. And thankfully, because I work from home, sometimes I just like rewatch these videos while I'm like working, and that helps me remember if there are things that are up. And thankfully, we're good about tokens in terms of marking them too, like who's concentrating, what spell has what, and blah blah blah. So yeah, if you didn't have, I think if you were like in person, I don't think you could like come back to a combat. I feel like, we're just gonna say you guys lost and this guy died or something. Like I can't keep everything on this table the whole time. Conditions, exactly.
Conditions.
I totally understand that. And yeah, exactly. With new players, it gets hard. Anyway, all right. I have found someone to raid. They're called Total Party Kiss. And we're being so violent that I feel like we need to change the tone a little bit. And we're going to go.
I was going to suggest the one that I saw called Heroes Die Show. I was like, that's my vibe. I'm into it.
We gotta lighten the mood up a little bit here. But we will be coming back for the stunning conclusion of this next week. Actually, this is a 3-part series, and we're back with, I think, Kill Teams next week too. Yes, it is actually, because of all that stuff. Anyway, we'll be back on Wednesday for Bygone Keep, and
bygones
it's gonna be a good time. Come hang out. Have a wonderful Saturday. It's
weird. Have a great Saturday, guys.
And we'll see you later.
Treat yourself. Choose some
Good night.
self-care.
Good night.